And so we come to March, one of the busiest, if not the busiest time of the season, and an opportunity for Mansfield Town to continue their reign at the top of the League 2 table. It's only been a short reign, they've only been top for a week, but they've got an opportunity now to extend that, with Stockport's game against Colchester United called off due to a waterlogged pitch. But Mansfield Town, they come to a place which they've found quite difficult in the past, and it's always been a stern test against the exiles of Newport County as the two sets of players emerge from the tunnel. Down to our right hand side, Aidan Flint leading out Mansfield Town in their all dark blue strip. Meanwhile, it's the traditional orange and black strip for Newport County. The two goalkeepers, Nick Townsend and Christy Pym, having a quick chat with each other as they come out of the tunnel, and hi-ho silver lining echoes through Rodney Parade. Mansfield Town, it's a long trip to South Wales, but a lot more fun if Mansfield can slay the Dragons and return with all 3 points. They're first with 12 games to go, and it has 13 games to go, maybe 12 if they get all 3 points today, but it has a lovely sound to it, and maybe they could extend that lead at the Summit, but they have to do it against arguably the informed side of the League 2 table in Newport County, who themselves have taken 18 points from their last 8 under former Stags boss Graham Coughlin. They're trying to get themselves a late surge into the playoff places, and given how hard-working and the battling qualities that Graham Coughlin had as a player, I wouldn't be surprised to see Newport certainly challenging for the top 7 between now and the end of the season. As the Mansfield Town players, they shake hands with the other Newport players, they warm up and they are ready to go. They came out to a chorus of cheers to the Newport and Stags players in between the flags that are being waved by the young boys and girls from the local teams here in South Wales. But we are about to get underway as the Newport mascot makes his way to the middle of the pitch with a couple of the young kids, and the referee and everybody getting involved. They're going to do the coin toss and everything and make sure we get underway properly. In terms of the teams, Nigel Clough has made 4 changes to the side that beat Salford City 5-1 at the One Call Stadium last weekend. Very unusual in some cases, but it just shows the luxuries that Nigel Clough has got at his disposal for the time being, in the fact that he can bring in Ollie Clark, George Maris, Hiram Boateng and Tom Nichols into his starting 11. I mean, if you had a 5-a-side team, then that would be fantastic. If you had a goalkeeper at the end of it as well, he's got Scott Flinders for that as well if he wants it. But it's great to see players getting a run out, particularly as we've got quite a busy period coming up in March for the Stags. Quite a lot of games, 7 games in fact, between now and the end of March. And we start in Wales and we finish in Wales as Mansfield Town head to Wrexham on Good Friday, but that is a long way away. Today the focus is on South Wales and Newport County, where Mansfield Town they've struggled a bit in recent years, but last April they got a great win here thanks to a lovely bit of individual quality from James Gale, who has returned to the matchday 18 today, which is encouraging to see. No Will Swan in the 18. We'll find out afterwards what the latest is with Will Swan, see if he's going to be fit for Tuesday night's game against MK Dons. But for now, it's Newport versus Mansfield on the home of live Nottinghamshire Sport. I'll give you a rundown of the 2 sets of teams in just a moment, but we are about to get underway. Mansfield Town will be kicking us off. Davis Keeler-Dunn and George Maris in the centre circle as the referee Adam Herchig gets us underway, and Davis Keeler-Dunn knocks the ball back to Lewis Reed across to the right hand side for George Williams. High floated ball forward looking for Tom Nichols, headed away by James Clark. It'll fall nicely for Adam Lewis. The Liverpool need to clear down the left hand side, and out of play it will go off the head of George Williams for a Newport throw. So the teams: Christy Pym in goal for the Stags, George Williams, Aidan Flint, Lewis Brunt and Bailey Cargill the back 4. Midfield diamond: Lewis Reed at the base of it with Ollie Clark and Hiram Boateng either side. George Maris will sit in the 10, and up top Tom Nichols and Davis Keeler-Dunn, top goal scorer of course. Meanwhile for Newport, Nick Townsend in goal, 3-5-2 with a back 3 of Clark, Jameson and Baker. Adam Lewis and Lewis Payne either side, with Bryn Morris, Scott Bennett and Aaron Waldig in the middle of midfield. And up top goal scorer Will Evans with 24 goals. He's up top alongside Seb Palmer-Horden as off goes, I think it's Ollie Clark trying to guide his way from midfield, and he's done well here as he draws it across to the left hand side, trying to get Davis Keeler-Dunn involved. It's a nice little bit of a battle going on there in the middle of the park, which Ollie Clark will happily get involved with. And a minute gone into the game, we've not heard from Gareth Jellyman yet. Gareth Jellyman, good afternoon to you. first impressions of the game so far, and also what kind of test do you think we're going to be expecting today?
I think it's going to be tough. I think you summed it up perfectly. Obviously the Newport's managers, his qualities as a player was hard work, and I think that's what we're seeing in the team. As you say, they're on a great run of form as well, so two informed teams, so it should be high on quality. I haven't actually seen that yet. We had a little bit of quality there, ball getting slipped through to Ollie Clark breaking the lines, but then his ball out wide wasn't as good. But I'm expecting to say really high intensity here. Ollie Clark's on.
Here he is now. Ollie Clark has got Davis Keeler-Dunn to his right hand side. He's going to try and get past Kyle Jameson as Keeler-Dunn jinks his way into the area. Here is Clark, right hand channel, pulls it across. It's blocked in the air as Clark sticks out a leg, manages to poke it back to Davis Keeler-Dunn by the corner flag. Right hand side, picks out across. There's Nichols and Maris between them, and Maris heads it over, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Great cross from Ollie Clark, sort of picked it out of nowhere really, managed to get the ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Tom Nichols and George Maris kind of got in each other's way. Neither of them could find the target, and it stays 0-0.
No, it was, he's done very, very well to dig that ball out. He was right by the corner flag, but he's managed to put a great ball into the second 6-yard box, and it's promising to see that there was two bodies attacking that ball. They got in each other's way in the end, but they were the only ones winning. It was the Stags players, so promising.
Nick Townsend with the long kick. Aidan Flint with a big header from the back, heads that one away over the halfway line. It's going to come back to Aidan Flint. Again, a big tussle with Will Evans. That's going to be an interesting battle between them two as the ball is played out to the Stags left, but it's come off a Stags boot, and so it'll be a Newport throw down their right. Lewis Payne, 19 years old, standing over it. He throws it short to Aaron Wildig, back to Lewis Payne down the right as he fires that one into the penalty area. Lovely little back flick from Scott Bennett, but thankfully it's headed away by Aidan Flint. This time Hiram Boateng trying to get the flick away. Tom Nichols steps in and wins it. Really good play from Nichols, and in there Boateng couldn't quite reconnect and knock the ball back to him as Lewis Brunt just knocked off balance slightly by Will Evans, according to the referee, and it will be a free kick to the Stags, who we can reiterate are sitting top of the League 2 table with 13 games to go, in pole position, which is a great position to be in, and an opportunity to extend that lead over the likes of Wrexham and Stockport County as the ball goes down the line for Davis Keeler-Dunn down the right hand side. He keeps it in play, only just though it's nicked off a Newport man.
I think those are the spaces that we're going to need to exploit. Then once down beside the wing backs and the right and left sided centre halves. Davis clearly found himself in a lot of space there.
Oh, that's a good ball through as well on towards Aaron Wildig, who pokes it through and towards Seb Palmer-Holden, but Aidan Flint steps across and clears that one away. This time a good challenge comes in from Lewis Payne, dispossessing Bailey Cargill. Payne's cross into the area, it's nicked away by Boateng, and Lewis Brunt just has to get something behind it and clear that one away from a Newport throw in a good area as well. A really good toe from Hiram Boateng, had to get that right, otherwise Scott Bennett could have been in there down the right hand channel. But a throw it will be to the Exiles, who currently sit 10th in League 2. An opportunity to overtake a couple of teams above them, because some of the games aren't playing today because of the waterlogged pitch, in particular Valley Parade, where Notts County were due to play, but if you saw our pictures earlier on BBC RNS, it's a mud bath as it's across by Bailey Cargill. High ball for Davis Keeler-Dunn, trying to get the better of his man. Kyle Jameson heading it away, but Clark steps in, wins the ball as it goes through to Nichols, plays it round the back for Davis Keeler-Dunn in the channel, pulls it back towards Maris. He didn't quite catch it as well as he would have liked, did Davis Keeler-Dunn, just sold him a little bit short, and James Clark, 34-year-old defender, clears it away for a Mansfield Town throw. But Mansfield starting the game well. 5 minutes gone.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised Keeler-Dunn didn't shoot there. It was a fantastic little ball, a reverse ball by Nichols, splitting the two centre halves, and got Keeler-Dunn in behind, but he was trying to be a little bit cute by rolling back to Maris on the edge of the box for him to shoot. I think he could have took the shot himself. Possibly, as the
throw comes downfield, it's headed away by Ollie Clark, and now to play for a Newport County throw. Stags back in action on Tuesday night at home to MK Dons, one of their games that were called off ages ago thanks to Storm Babette, but full live commentary on all frequencies on BBC Radio Nottingham. You'll also will be hearing on how Forest are getting on at home to Liverpool. That's on DAB Digital Radio 103.8 FM and on Freeview Channel 720 also, and it's also online on the BBC Sport website as well. So plenty of reasons if you want to go on to that game, but hopefully plenty of entertainment here as well at Rodney Parade, where it's Newport 0, Stags 0. Cross coming in from Townsend, it's flicked on towards the edge of the penalty area, but it might fall for Bryn Morris, and Morris turns and finds the left-footed Adam Lewis over on the left-hand side. Has to go all the way back to Kyle Jameson, who joined in the summer, formerly of Oldham and Tranmere and Barrow. And he's very tall centre-half, very athletic as well, as the ball is headed away by Lewis Brunt. Really good header forward as Davis Keeler-Dunn did the usual arms outstretched, I'm offside type look as the ball is floated back to the goalkeeper, who took a touch and volleys that one up in the air. Difficult to see where that's going to land because of the low hanging roof that we've got above us here at Rodney Parade. But now here goes Scott Bennett, goes between Boateng and Cargill. Between them they sandwich Scott Bennett and concede a throw in the process.
Yeah, did well, the two Stags players there. It looked like he might be able to get a break on me. He's given a free kick there.
Oh, free kick.
Yeah. It wasn't much in that, really. I didn't think
it was going to be a throw.
Yeah, I thought they did ever so well, to be fair.
Yeah. Adam Lewis then standing over it, wearing a brand new pair of Adidas Predators. I must say they are fresh. They are. Yeah, they are straight out the box. As Adam Lewis, on loan from Liverpool, left back, has had spells at Plymouth and Livingston, looking to fire that one forward into the penalty area. It's got distance on it as the ball is headed away by none other than Aidan Flint. This time Davis Keeler-Dunn gets the glancing header for Nichols to take a touch, shouts for handball as Boateng drops the shoulder and looks to go one way then the other, hits it against his man and gets Stags a throw. It's a bit of a difficult on that for Tom Nichols because he wasn't actually looking at the ball, it just sort of caught him on the arm, and not really a great deal he could have done about that. But
no, there really wasn't.
The referee deciding to play to go on, and a throw it will be to Stags, who came here and won back in April last year. James Gale with a lovely individual goal. And Boateng, speaking of, actually scored the opener. Throw down the line, ball hits George Maris's arm this time, and it's again waved away by the referee. It's going to be thrown forward by Bailey Cargill to Tom Nichols, who he looks cool, calm and collected, doesn't he?
Does Nichols? Well, he looks really sharp. He's manipulate the ball really well and managing to give himself an extra yard, and so he looks like he is in control and he's finding space.
Here's Keeler-Dunn, wide left, drops the shoulder, goes past one and past another, still got it. Keeler-Dunn pulls it. He's trying to reverse the ball in towards Hiram Boateng. Bailey Cargill in the left-hand channel, found neither, and Nick Townsend just gently jogs over and gathers that one. In his 5th season at Newport County, he's been here a while, but he's sort of been deputy really to Joe Day, who was here a couple of seasons ago. It saved Rhys Oates' penalty in the 2-0 win for Stags back at the One Call Stadium. The ball is flicked on by Lewis Brunt, goes back to Cargill by his own corner flag, hits it against his man and goes out of play. Actually doesn't. It's kept in by Hiram Boateng for Lewis Reed, who volleys that one up in the air downfield. This time Tom Nichols will try and get there, gets between man and ball. Great touch. Excellent. In towards George Maris, who gets ahead of his man. Has still got it, George Maris. Ollie Clark wants it. He's still got it as Clark pokes it. He's trying to poke it back in for Davis Keeler-Dunn or George Maris, but that was stunning play from Tom Nichols. First of all, challenge coming in. The referee's going to blow his whistle, and that looks a nasty one actually. It's Aaron Wildig who's brought the challenge in. I think it might be Ollie Clark who was the recipient of it, the unfortunate one. And Aaron Wildig is first in the book. We've only played nearly 10 minutes.
It's sharp, decisive play from Stags. That ball into Nichols really drove into him, but it's his touch and his awareness, and he just spun it round the corner, and then we were away, and then we were on the counter, and that's happened 2 or 3 times. It's just the final ball hasn't happened quite yet, but it's promising. It is really promising. But I would say as well, Newport have had the opportunity a couple of times to break, and they've looked fairly sharp as well. So as I said, I think we're in for an exciting game here.
Let's hope so. As Graham Coughlin, former Stags boss, wandering around his technical area, his man who succeeded him, Nigel Clough, to his left-hand side, speaking to the 4th official. But a free kick it will be to Stags, dead centre. Lewis Reed standing over it, hands on hips, signed a new contract as well in midweek, staying until the summer of 2025 at least. Who knows where Mansfield Town will be by that stage, but hopefully League One. Fingers crossed. As the free kick is set to be taken. George Williams has just stood behind him. You can see Christy Pym wearing all pink as the crossfield ball comes in towards the back post and goes out the play for a goal kick. And I think Boateng and 1 or 2 others just staring back at Lewis Reed saying we don't appreciate that.
No, I think they read that because to be fair, Aidan Flynn was over this side of the pitch where the ball was looking to go, and then he walked a couple of defenders away, and then Bailey obviously trying to leave Bailey Cargill one-on-one. However, they quickly changed to a bigger man to mark him, and then as soon as he went to run in, he just stood and blocked him. So I think they read the situation quite well there.
It's an interesting battle between Graham Coughlin and Nigel Clough, isn't it? Because you've got both managers who are very vocal on the touchline. One's a defender, one's a striker. It's perfect. Perfect battle, isn't it?
Yeah, and they would have definitely worked on that, because Mansfield use that very well. They'll try and isolate a man out wide and then have a blocker to stop.
Sorry to cut you off there, Gareth. It was the ball back from Carl Jameson, which was a high one. It bounced nearly over Nick Townsend, who had to control it with his head. George Williams has gone into the challenge on Seb Palmer-Holden, and George Williams will now go into the book, I think. Although the referee's keeping his cards in his pocket, I think he's...
I'm quite surprised there, because that was it was quite similar to the booking 5 minutes ago.
Interesting, very interesting from Adam Herchig, but Mansfield Town will take it. Maybe he's on a bit of a tightrope as George Williams. Been a goal already in League 2. Grimsby leading Forest Green by a goal to nil. Interesting game down towards the bottom of the League 2 table. Grimsby trying not to get themselves sucked in between themselves and the relegation places at the moment, as the header comes into the penalty area. It's glanced back towards the edge of the 6-yard box. There's a turning shot. There's a player down in the box, and the referee doesn't give a penalty, and off goes Mansfield Town with Tom Nichols left hand side. He's got one or two others near him, including Scott Bennett, as he rolls it into the channel for Davis Keeler-Dunn. He stays on side. He's got one or two options around him. One of them's Bertang. Ball into the penalty area. It's a great ball as well into the 6-yard box. It's volleyed clear though by Will Evans, only as far as Lewis Brunt. Brunt rolls it in towards Maris, who's got George Williams on the overlap over on that right hand side. Exciting game so far, live on BBC Radio Nottingham. 0-0 between Newport and Mansfield, but it's a cross from Davis Keeler-Dunn over towards George Williams down the right hand side. Good cross as well. It's blocked. It'll fall for George Maris. Back to George Williams again. Williams firing that ball into the penalty area, stabbed away at the near post, and this time it'll be Adam Lewis who can loop it up and clear it downfield, but only as far as Clark. He runs into his opposite number in Bryn Morris, and Mansfield Town will get a throw. 13 gone, 0-0.
Again, great sharp play as well. Keeler-Dunn seems to be at the centre, and Tom Nichols, every time they're getting on the ball, things are happening. Trying to get the ball out wide to George Williams to get the ball in here, and Botan putting the ball in a great area there. Look, unfortunately, that Keeler-Dunn just missing out, but yeah, as I say, really positive play again. It's on a knife edge at the minute. It could have been a penalty there. It looked like there was some hands on a shoulder. Maybe went down a little easy. That's why the referee hasn't give it. So, but as I say, it is on a knife edge at the minute.
A lot of quality in these in both of these squads. You can see why Newport are where they are. Maybe should be higher actually, particularly under Graham Coughlin. But at the moment, Mansfield Town are holding them firm for now. Anyway, goal in the Premier League at St James's Park. Newcastle 1, Wolves 0. The opening goal of the day, at least, as the ball is looped up in the air by Will Evans. Top goal scorer, and it falls into the middle of midfield for Seb Palmer-Holden to play it back to Adam Lewis. Takes a heavy touch and switches the ball all the way back to Matthew Baker on loan from Stoke City. Runs into trouble nearly, but has to go all the way back to James Clark. Back to Baker again as he sends that one downfield. It's a nice ball as well for Evans, who hooks that one up in the air. This time the header coming in from Bennett, sandwiched between two Stags players. It'll go out of play for a Mansfield Town throw. I'll try and find out who actually scored the goal for Newcastle United. It was Alexander Isak. I could have probably guessed that, couldn't I?
Yeah.
If you want for all the fancy football players out there, I've not even done my team, Gareth.
Have you not?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Didn't have time. So there we go. I'll have to settle with who I've got. Here's Hiram Bertang, header over the halfway line, volleyed forward, but it's going to fall nicely for Will Evans. It's a lovely touch for Aaron Wilder, who sends it all the way out to the left-hand side, and Adam Lewis is going to have to chase it here, and he's done well to keep it in play. Didn't appreciate that though, as the ball comes into the area. There's Aidan Flint, and this time George Williams will have to let that one go for a throw. But a neat touch from Will Evans.
He started really well, Will Evans. I think he's got 20 already this season, and he's putting himself about. He's definitely matching Brunt physically, and he's been technically very good as well, so he's had a good start. So Brunt, I think, is going to know he's in a game today.
He really is. And here is Will Evans again as he gets it on the edge of the penalty area, 18-yard box, whatever you want to call it. And now here is Lewis Payne. This time he runs into his man. This time it's back with Bailey Cargill, who hits it against Scott Bennett, and out of play. That'll go for a Stag's throw as Bennett screams at, I think it was Lewis Payne, about something, but again, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. 33 years old is Scott Bennett. He rattled the crossbar with an absolute pile driver at the One Call Stadium back in the playoff semi-final. How that game stayed 0-0, I have no idea. Meanwhile, Hiram Bertang sandwiched between a couple of Newport players, nothing given by the referees. Down the line it goes from Payne in towards Evans, who turns, although Lewis Reed steps in, runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac but clears his lines. Not very far though. It's going to fall to Wildig on the edge of the 18-yard box. Here's Will Evans. Oh dear, there's a player down on the edge of the box as well, and Lewis Reed telling Will Evans to get up. very, very quickly. It's, the ball deflects towards Ollie Clark. It's hooked over towards Reed. Couldn't get a toe on it. This time Evans flicks it on. Got 4-11 on the edge of the box, who takes a touch. It might fall for Morris, who turns, strikes it, and this time the referee pointing for a corner instead of a free kick, and it's just one of those situations where it just kept falling for Newport players and they couldn't quite get a toe on it. Mansfield Town couldn't get a good toe on it to clear their lines. So a corner kick it'll be. It fell to Morris in a very kind situation, and thankfully Mansfield got some bodies in the way.
Yeah, I think a little bit reactive there instead of being proactive. I think if Williams reads that situation a bit better, he was on his heels and he just let it happen in front of him, and then he nearly ended up giving a free kick on the edge of the box.
Corner coming in, right hand side towards the back post, header coming in, and it's out of play again. In fact, I think it came off Hiram Boateng, who was defending at the far post, and so a corner from the left hand side this time. And referee Adam Hurchard just having a quick word with Davis Keeler-Dunn and Bailey Cargill, actually. But a corner it will be, and Aaron Wilding will take it. Once he scored in this fixture last April. Mansfield Town were 2-0 up by then. He's certainly a good quality player, 31 years old, his second season, formerly of Morecambe. 17.5 gone. Second corner of the afternoon for Newport County. 0-0 as it's back with Lewis, who turns on the edge of the penalty area, pulls it back, and it's away from everybody. It went all the way through the 18-yard box. It's going to come back though to Lewis Payne, who drives all into the penalty area. It's a floating cross. There's a player down in the box as well. Then the referee gives a free kick because Mansfield Town captain Aidan Flint went to ground, and Stags will get a free kick.
That's a nice corner routine that they played there. It was a short ball into Lewis, and he's Cruyffed it and beat his man, and then laid the ball to the penalty spot. But luckily Brunt had read it and was luckily got his body in the way, and the ball ended up finding its way all the way to the other side of the pitch. But they're coming into it at the minute, so we just got to make sure that we ride this wave.
The Stags have just lost their way slightly, although they might get it back as it's played down the line to Tom Nichols, who controls it with his chest and knocks it down the line for George Williams. But it's a good sliding challenge.
He's made a great start to the game.
Yeah, hasn't he? Nichols,
he looks so sharp and really intelligent, some of the balls he's playing.
Yeah, he's competing with Swan and Akins and Davis Keeler-Dunn as well to a certain degree, and Jordan Bowery, and at the moment he seems to be the main man for the time being, and
he's using his body ever so well and protecting the ball, and even when he's going in for up with the big guys for headers, he uses his body ever so well, like give them a bump before they can jump, and he's winning the headers. So I think Nigel will be really pleased with the start he's made.
Absolutely. And Mansfield Town have now got a corner thanks to George Williams' cross, which deflected off the head of Kyle Jameson, and the Stags' first corner of the afternoon will be taken by Hiram Boateng. 19 gone, 0-0, but both sides have had some good moments in the game so far. Neither goalkeeper having a save to make, truth be told, but Boateng will fire that corner in, left hand side, good ball towards the back post, but Nick Townsend is a comfortable gather, and he bowls it out short to I think that's Will Evans, but it's quickly nipped in the bud by George Morris. It was Bryn Morris, I beg your pardon, who was trying to launch a counter-attack down the Newport right, and George Morris very quick to scamper across and block that one. I've got to mention as well, we spotted it in the warm-up, didn't we, Gareth? The defensive warm-up used by Andy Garner, and there's a lovely moment in the warm-up where for those that watch Mansfield Town, when they do their warm-ups at the One Call Stadium, they like to do a back four set up, and Andy Garner chucks balls at them in terms of to defend them away and whatnot, and Aidan Flint decided, you know what, I'm just going to boot one Peter Kay style, have it. Nearly went out the ground, I think, and it was nice to see that.
I
think it did, nearly landed in Wrexham, I think. But it was a lovely moment to see, and again, it sort of shows the camaraderie. So it was nice to see as the ball is played through to Davis Keeler-Dunn down the right-hand side. Tom Nichols wants it in the area, but he's had it stabbed away at the very last second from Adam Lewis. A lovely little flick in the end it was from Lewis to get it away from Keeler-Dunn. But Mansfield Town are starting to find their groove again. 2 corners in the space of a minute or so.
Yeah, they're ramping up the pressure now, knocking on the door. It's a great opportunity here. I'd like to see Mansfield put someone on the keeper, because he's claimed the last couple of balls into the box. So
Keeler-Dunn at the near post. It'll fall towards Brunt. This time it might break for Lewis Reed, who switches that one beautifully out towards Davis Keeler-Dunn. On the half volley it goes as Keeler-Dunn fires that one into the penalty area. It's headed up in the air. This time it's chested down by George Maris. And here is Maris again, back to the halfway line for George Williams going for the long diagonal ball for Aidan Flint, cushions that one down nicely for Bailey Cargill. Cargill floats that one into the penalty area, but it's blocked at source. Back it goes to Lewis Reed. This time he goes even further across to George Williams. Another diagonal ball, looking for the Aidan Flint, who had about 3 Newport players around him in that point. I was going to call him the focal point, and that's exactly what he was. As the ball comes into the area towards the back post, punched away by the goalkeeper. This time Lewis Reed with the header down. It will fall to Nichols on the edge of the box, who turns and holds it off well. Shields it for George Maris, who sends it to the left for Hiram Boateng. He's got Bailey Cargill to his left. Here is Cargill, left hand side, as he fires that one back to the edge of the box for George Maris, plays it forward again to Davis Keeler-Dunn, who's buzzing around the 18-yard box again, but Bailey Cargill goes to Hiram Boateng. Lovely touch, lovely cross as well at the near post, but it's claimed by Nick Townsend, and it's again the chance comes to nothing, but again really good play from Mansfield.
Some beautiful football being played by Mansfield there, the way they're using each wing, throwing the balls in at some points as well, which you have to. Sometimes you've got to take that opportunity to put the ball in the back and put them under pressure. They're defending really well, but it's promising the way Mansfield are able to keep possession, and they were just encamped within the final third there for a good 4 or 5 minutes.
A couple of goals of interest in League 2. Wrexham are leading Accrington by a goal to nil. Paul Mullin. As Davis Keeler-Dunn's got it, and he could be through here. Davis Keeler-Dunn into the area, takes the shot early, and in the end it's a comfortable save from Nick Townsend. I think he could feel the breath of Carl Jameson lurking behind him, and he thought, I'll try and bend one in from quite a way, actually, from probably about 25 yards. Didn't get the height and the power behind it, and Nick Townsend, it's a comfortable save for him just to dive low to his left hand side and smother that one. But a big chance for Davis Keeler-Dunn, and he probably felt that he had a bit more time than he had.
Yeah, I think what's going through his head there is a lot of the time, if you take a shot really early, it takes the keeper by surprise. I don't think he actually quite got enough on the ball, but is it the right idea? And I think he's just thinking, if I can get a shot off now, he's not going to be set, and he was travelling backwards, but unfortunately he didn't get the purchase he wanted on the ball.
Crewe 1, Morecambe 0. Elliot Nevitt with the goal there, so 2 goals affecting Mansfield for the time being. Both teams around them in 3rd and 4th leading by goals to nil. In terms of the good touch, linesman. Lovely touch, trying to get out of the way, and it hits him on the shoulder. Very well done. It's the Newport players sort of gesturing, well, hey, on a minute, it went out of play much more further back than that, because it hit the linesman, who's not moved. So
he's a good 15 yards away from it.
Yeah, but the referee is happy with how things are. I think it was one of those that sort of went out of play but carried on travelling, as Hiram Boateng knocks the ball out of play anyway, and it's going to be a throw to the Exiles, who won 6 of the last 10, including a 4-1 win over Harrogate on Tuesday night. Great result for them. Not easy to go to Harrogate and score 4, as we know, but it's again the team in form at the moment, and they're certainly showing that with some of the quality that they've got. But Mansfield Town are keeping them at arm's length for the time being. Nothing really Christy Pimmer's had to do so far, and probably the only thing that Nick Townsend's had to do is catch a couple of corners and make a routine save from Davis Keeler-Dunn. That's all she wrote so far, with a bounce. 25 on the clock. Cargill with the long throw downfield. Boateng trying to get the header. It's going to deflect off a Newport man, and out of play for a Stag's throw down their left. It's getting a bit feisty, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think Bailey Cargill's on a bit of a wind-up as well. I think the reaction he's getting for taking throw-ins not in the right place. You can hear him again every time he goes to take a throw-in at the minute.
Well, this time this one didn't quite come off, unfortunately. No. Davis Keeler-Dunn headed it back towards him, and it went over him and out of play for a Newport throw. Mansfield Town themselves, 30 of their 63 points have come on the road. They're currently top of the away form table, as it were. Earned quite a lot of points on the road. 8 wins on the road so far this season. Had many great trips. Have the Stags fans, plenty of them making plenty of noise over on the far side as well, behind the goal too, away to our right hand side, as the ball is pushed on to Ollie Clark down the right hand side. Ball into the channel for Nichols. It nearly found its way through into the onrushing Davis Keeler-Dunn, but George Williams plays it down the line again to Ollie Clark. Back it goes to Aidan Flint, looking organised to Mansfield Town. Ball into the area towards Davis Keeler-Dunn. Lovely touch on the edge of the box, helps it on for Bailey Cargill. Ball into the area, it's deflected, and a corner kick it will be. 3rd one of the game.
Yeah, I just think that the 2 strikers for Stags have done fantastic to start with. The way they're bringing other is into play, their touch has been immaculate so far, where balls have really been pinged into them, but the way they're manipulating the ball and they're managing to bring other people into play has been really good. And we managed to get another corner here from Keeler-Dunn's good play.
Lots of energy up top, and Keeler Dunn and Nichols, lots of height in the area as it's drilled into the box. It might fall for Hiram Bertain to strike. It's blocked. Not quite on the line, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Hooked back to him by Maris, cleared away by Lewis Payne up to halfway, which Lewis Reed will gather and volley back to Christy Pym, who's under pressure there from Seb Palmer-Holden, and he's rushed him a little bit into his clearance, but Maris steps in and wins it back from Scott Bennett. Bit of a heavy touch from him. It was Bryn Morris again with the heavy touch, as Clark in his opposite number plays it across to the right hand side for Davis Keeler Dunn. Clark has it at the penalty area, looking to shoot, but he decides to go short to Hiram Bertain. Bailey Cargill seeing a lot of the ball over on this left hand side, looking for somebody in the channel. Nice ball in towards Hiram Bertain, who turns and finds Clark. It's saved in the end by Nick Townsend. Really good intricate passing again from Mansfield Town. Clark got himself right on the penalty spot and got it onto his left foot, tried to turn but didn't quite catch it as well as he would have liked, and Nick Townsend again makes the save look relatively straightforward. 0-0 it stays, but I'm not sure how that is, to be honest, Gareth.
No, there seems to be there seems to be a lot of space between the back three for Newport and the midfield two sitting, and we keep finding ourselves in the little hole in between. Boateng's found it, Ollie Clark did there too. In the space of 30 seconds we kept picking up in that space where we were able to turn and run at them, and Ollie Clark has found himself there probably about 10 yards out, no, probably about 12 yards out in a little bit of space. Managed to get a shot off, probably never caught it as cleanly as he could, but that's the best opportunity we've had so far, and that's just by the neat intricate play again, that quick play in and around and finding yourselves in those little pockets. It's
a lovely touch from Lewis Reed down the line to Ollie Clark, who stayed onside as well as he rolls it into the channel for Tom Nichols, and again Nichols battling away with Carl Jameson. You don't get past him. No, that is for sure.
But again, Ollie Clark found himself there, and he's able to on the half turn, able to turn face up, and then he's played the ball in. Unfortunately, Nichols hasn't been able to get on the end of it, but he's finding himself in them little pockets of space between the back three and the two sitting in midfield.
Just looking at the Stags players warming up over on that left hand side, and just look at the quality,
strong, isn't it? It's such a strong bench.
There's Stephen Quinn and Lucas Akins. Hello lads. It's quite
unreal,
incredible, really.
It is. It is. He could put two 11s out and they'd be equally as good as he.
Definitely can. You look at the players who are still missing through injury as the ball is switched clear by Lewis Brunt, plays it around the back for Davis Keeler Dunn. If he can keep hold of it, keep it in play. He's managed to flick that one down the line, and he did keep it in play. As this time it's headed away by Clark. This time Keeler Dunn still buzzing around and causing problems. He has it hit against him, and it goes out of play for a Newport throw inside their own 80, inside their own half, should we say. I was going to say inside their own box, but you don't take throws from inside the box.
Their own 22. It's got the rugby mark.
That's the thing. That's what's throwing me off a little bit. I think. Yeah. Inside their own 18-yard line or whatever.
Yeah. 22.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't watch rugby, as you can probably tell. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham Sport, believe it or not, with me on commentary. But as the ball is back with Nick Townsend, headed back to him in the end by Carl Jameson. And Newport themselves have taken some points off some big hitters in this league. Wrexham have come here and been beaten. So have Stockport County. A draw here as well against Crewe. So this is not an easy place to come for anybody, that is for sure. Only Notts County recently have come here and taken 3 points off the Exiles. So again, they don't lose lightly. As the ball is back with Lewis Payne, steps in and gets past Hiram Bertain, although Bertain does well to put a toe in and win the ball back for the Stags. It's back with Nichols. Here's Bertain again. Ball round the back looking for Davis Keeler Dunn, who's got him behind here. Gets a bit of a shove in the back in the end, but he manages to keep hold of the he could have done, but decided against it and floats a nice ball to Hiram Bertain, who couldn't quite get the ball away from his feet. And now there might be a counter-attack on here as Mansfield Town look to get back quickly. Lewis Reed sprinting across as the ball is sent into the penalty area towards the back post. Will Evans keeps it in play into the 6-yard box. It goes. Nathan Flint had to head that one away as it's kept in by Lewis Payne. Right hand side, Stags need to get back as the ball into the area, flicked away by Bailey Cargill up towards Tom Nichols inside the Stags midfield as Nichols loses out. This time George Williams with a good sliding challenge, and also Ollie Clark with a good one as well. And he managed to pull out the ball up to halfway. Again, a proper open game now, isn't it? It
really is. Both teams are counter-attacking really, really well, and the transition from defence to attack is swift and brisk. There's not much building up a play from the back at the minute, but more so Stags, if they do, they're keeping possession a little bit more. However, Newport is all as quick as you can to get that ball forward. And to say Will Evans has caused a lot of problems. I think he's done ever so well to keep that ball in. It looked like it was a lost hope, and then he's managed to fashion a ball into the box, and then they've managed to pick up the second ball. So it's a pretty, well, I wouldn't say pretty even. I think Stags are bossing it a little bit. However, they do look very dangerous as well, Newport on the break.
In terms of possession, Mansfield certainly having the upper hand.
And they look very attractive on the eye, Mansfield.
Very much so. What is very entertaining is the two managers in the technical area, because both of them, as I mentioned earlier, very vocal. You've got Graham Coughlin shouting at the linesman, you've got Nigel Clough shouting at his players, and it's really entertaining to watch. Here is Lewis Brunt up to George Maris, who turns and gets a bit of a whack on the ankle, but he stays on his feet. Still got it as George Maris, who plays it short to Bailey Cargill. Nice floated ball for Tom Nichols. Leaves it for Ollie Clark, who does well to keep hold of it and try and drag one or two midfielders away with him. Here is Nichols on the halfway line. Across he goes to George Williams. I've been very impressed with him since he's become a regular in the match day 18, as Aidan Flint plays that one into the channel, but nobody there for the Stags. Meanwhile, a couple of other goals going in. Wrexham 2-0 up against Accrington Stanley, and meanwhile there's been a couple of goals at Craven Cottage also. Fulham leading by 2-0 against Brighton and Hove Albion at Craven Cottage. Still goalless between Forest and Liverpool. Our other featured game on BBC Radio Nottingham, and in case you've missed it, Bradford City versus Notts was called off due to a I want to say waterlogged pitch, but it was very wet, it was very muddy, and probably even Mark Stallard wouldn't even want to play on it. So there we go. There we go. Throw in to Newport County here at Rodney Parade. 33 gone. Again, it's been a very entertaining game so far. Not too many chances for either side, really. Probably Mansfield having the better of the actual clear-cut chances. A couple of saves from Nick Townsend.
There's been some lovely football, though, from Stags.
Oh, definitely.
Really do.
Yeah, playing some really cute, attractive football as the ball played in midfield. That's not so cute, though, from Newport, as Ollie Clark plays that one round the back, and it's missed by the defender. And Davis Keeler-Dunn could be in, and Nick Townsend just scampers towards the edge of his 18-yard box and gathers that one. It took a little touch off Matthew Baker. It sort of took the sting out of it a little bit, and in the end that managed to just make it through to the Exiles shot stopper, who's got 9 clean sheets to his name this season as well. And again, it's Graham Coughlin building from the back and building a very good squad, and some of the players actually in the Mansfield Town 18 were brought in by Graham Coughlin, so Nigel Clough has certainly got the best out of them. When you look at George Marison, Ollie Clark and Jordan Barry, also Steve McLaughlin involved, as the ball is smashed against Will Evans, and out of play that'll go for a Stags throw. 33 and a half gone, 0-0. I mean, I mentioned it before, not too many chances, but it's been a very entertaining game of football, and both sides sort of, it feels very much like a chess match. Sort of, one team has a wave, then another team has a wave, and then another one has a wave. So interesting.
No, it really is, and I think that's where I think Nigel would like to see a little bit more control, possession, because when we've had sustained pressure in there, the football we're playing, and we're able to find a bit of space and be able to manoeuvre the ball around. We're trying to rush, sometimes trying to rush it a little bit too much. Maybe if we can try and just entice them out and keep the ball and move it around a little bit more, it takes the sting out the game a little bit. But because at the minute it's all smash and grab, pretty much both teams, it's a big battle in there at the minute, and it's intriguing to see. But I think I'd like to see, I'm sure Nigel would like to see a little bit more control in there.
There's a bit of a to-do over on the far side involving George Williams and Adam Lewis. I think it was because George Williams, as the ball had gone out of play for a throw, I think George, it's one of those where you know the ball's going out of play for a throw, but you give the defender a shove anyway. Adam Lewis went down, didn't like that, and had a bit of a square up to George Williams, and the referee's just diffusing the situation. I don't think he's going to book either player by the looks of things, and it needs to be sorted out sooner rather than later, because this game has been bubbling a little bit, and as we know from a couple of seasons ago, when Mansfield came to Rodney Parade and left with 10 men, it could have been 8 men each by the end of it. There was an almighty scrap involving lots of John Joe O'Toole and Ollie Hawkins. Stephen Quinn not happy either, but in the end Stags came away.
Yeah, I think the fans have quite a lot to do with that. They are very quite vocal, and they do get on the back of the referee, and amps up the atmosphere, and people can make silly decisions when they're faced with situations like that.
Well, here come Newport, just coming up to the halfway line as it has to go all the way back to Carl Jameson in the sunshine, by the way.
Oh, there we
Somebody's
go.
put 50p in the meter and put it on. That's fantastic.
Finally.
Yeah, it's looking... I'll tell you what, it looks like middle of August. I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It's quite cold, but in terms of how it looks on the pitch is luscious and green. It looks fresh. And the sun's shining as well now, and off goes George Williams, leaves it for Lewis Reed, who takes it off him and goes all the way back to Lewis Brunt. 9 to go before half time. Not had too much by way of stoppages either. So again, it's been a nice, very even game. Mansfield Town have only just edged it for the time being. Probably that chance for Keeler, Dunn and Clark.
Yeah, Clark
the best of them,
probably more so. Tell you what is helping the pitch. The pitch is absolutely beautiful. It's really flat. The bit patchy in places, but it's beautiful, really.
Well, there's Bryn Morris looking to line one up. He smashes that one against Lewis Reed, and the backspin on the ball lands at the feet of Adam Lewis, and Mansfield win it back with Maris, and now off they go to Mansfield Town over the halfway line. Here's Davis Keeler-Dunn. Nichols has made that run, but Keeler-Dunn will keep hold of it for now and roll it into Clark. Here is Lewis Reed in the middle of the pitch. Goes across to the left-hand side for Bailey Cargill. Cargill plays that one forward to Tom Nichols. It's a nice ball into Tom Nichols also, as he runs into his man and concedes a free kick.
Yeah, just evaded him his touch there. It's probably the first time today. But it was great play again by Boateng. Recognised he was in the striker position, recognised that Nichols was there, so he ran his man out and it freed the space up for Nichols. A really intelligent play by Boateng. Great ball by Bailey Cargill. It looked like he was going to play the ball down to Boateng, but he's whipped it inside. But Nichols, as we say, his first touch wasn't quite there. But very promising.
A couple of fans in front of us making their way down to the concourse to get themselves a hot drink and things. Myself and Gareth Jelly treat ourselves to a hot chocolate and a coffee as well. So been treated very well here at Rodney Parade, as the ball is played downfield by Nick Townsend. Lewis Brunt will try and head it away and get there ahead of Will Evans, and Brunt does well, or so we thought. Goes out of play off the Leicester loanee, who again is sort of reverted back to his left-sided centre-half role and slotted in there very well once again, learning a lot from Aidan Flint, it seems. Here's Baker, back he goes to Bryn Morris on halfway, has to go all the way back to James Clark. This time here's Carl Jameson, 23-year-old former Tranmere and Oldham man. He'll know all about Davis Keeler-Dunn. They shared a bit of a joke together as the teams warmed up, as it's back across to the left-hand side for Adam Lewis. There's Seb Palmer holding back to Adam Lewis again on halfway. Fires that one into the penalty area. Flint with the header away, can head those away all day long as it's back with Lewis Reed. Hooks that one forward, and that'll go out of play off the Stags midfielder. There's another player. Now Ollie Clark's knocked into his man, and Adam Lewis has gone down again over on the far side.
Yeah, totally by accident there. I don't think he's meant to do it, but I don't know, the reaction from the crowd is to say that he's purposely left his foot in there, but he wasn't at all. I think he just tried to shield, and he's run up, and Ollie Clark's run up behind him, and
he
probably stood on his feet. That was unintentional. Totally.
You put pressure on the ball, don't you? In that situation,
you're not going to allow the ball to go out. Yeah.
6 to go before half time. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Back with you on Tuesday night. Full live commentary of Stags versus MK Dons. Big game actually between I'm not entirely sure what position they'll be in, Mansfield or MK Dons going into that one. It's very tight at the top of the League 2 table, but it'll be an entertaining one nonetheless, and you can hear that in full on BBC Radio Nottingham as the noise rocks up at Rodney Parade. Again, that game will be live from the One Call Stadium. 7 o'clock start, 7:45 kickoff with David Jackson, myself and Andy White, as Lewis Reed fires that one downfield. Davis Keeler-Dunn might have the run in here on Carl Jameson, and Jameson goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, taking no chances. This time it's cleared away by Townsend up to halfway. Reed sort of misreads the flight of the ball, and this time it's knocked down to Reed. There's a pillar right in the way of where the ball is, and it's cleared away for a Stag's throw on halfway. 5 to go before half-time. 0-0, still 0-0 as well at the City Ground. Forest against Liverpool, our other featured game on BBC Radio Nottingham, as the ball is down the line with Ollie Clark, who does well to turn and ride the challenge, spins on a sixpence in the middle of the midfield, has to go back to George Williams, who drops the shoulder. Really good little swivel of the hips from Williams, and a lovely turn from George Maris as well. It's fantastic as George Maris goes to ground and actually is penalised for going to ground.
Yeah, great feat initially, but however the defender, the midfielder did ever so well to get his body in to stop him getting it on the other side. But yeah, intricate play again. Ollie Clark's made a great start as well. I think he's had a very, very strong first half. He's found himself in some quite advanced positions, and he's used the ball really well, and And yeah, he's been progressive every time he's got it. He's on the half term. He's got the ball in the hole, in the hole between the defence and the midfield, and been really purposeful. So I think Ollie Clark's done really well. I don't think he's given the ball away yet.
Well, quite a way north from here, Paul Mullen has got a hat-trick. First half hat-trick for Wrexham against Accrington Stanley. Wrexham 3, Accrington Stanley 0 as the ball is headed away by Aidan Flint, and that'll go to play for a Newport throw. Getting sort of that period in the game where you don't want either side to play. You want Newport to blink first, don't you?
Of course you do, yeah.
But either side don't really want to blink and give anybody a leg up.
Budging, are they? But they're.
Well played, Lewis Payne.
He did well to keep it in, didn't he?
Yeah, managed to keep it in play. Did Lewis Payne, and I keep calling him Liam Payne. Well, you want One Direction fans out there. It's like Kevin McAllister all over again at Forest Green Rovers. Ah, dear me. Lewis Payne is the Newport player. Liam Payne is the singer from One Direction, formerly of One Direction, I should say. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham with Jake Garner, struggling with his celebrities and footballers. 0-0 between Newport and Mansfield Town. Again, the Stags come into today top of the league for the first time since 2015. They beat Notts County on a Friday night, second game of the 2015-2016 season, and they won that game and went temporarily top, having played 2 games while the teams around them have played 1. But here is Seb Palmer-Holden, pulls that one nicely into the penalty area, and Hiram Boateng taking absolutely no chances and clearing that one away for a Newport throw. But that fell into perfect territory for a Newport midfielder to run onto, and any other day of the week you'd have fancied that being a big chance from there, but thankfully for Stags, Hiram Boateng got to the ball first. Yeah, he was really decisive there, and thought, because Cargill was coming onto it, so maybe he would have cleared it up the pitch, but Boateng wasn't taking any chances, and I think that's great. He's been really decisive, as long as you're making a positive decision, which he did. So it's a cross that's nearly coming back in, but it's not the best touch from Adam Lewis, and now Wally Clark with a big boot downfield into the channel. That one
take that.
I was going to say that's a rugby style clip.
Pitch. That was amazing, kick to touch, that one.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. We'll have a line out.
Well done.
Why not? 4-0 now to Wrexham. Goals flying in at the racecourse ground. Mansfield Town go there on Good Friday, in 26 days time to be exact. I think I think I'm right.
You are.
Oh no, I'm not. 27 days time. I beg your pardon.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a calendar on me, but 29th of March is when they go up there, and again, it's going to be an interesting game between two sides pushing for promotion. But a lot of football to be played between now and then. 90 seconds to go. Still 0-0 here, but Mansfield Town pushing for that opening goal, although Ollie Clark's been dispossessed. George Williams recovers the ball. Bryn Morris runs into Ollie Clark, gets a lucky ricochet and plays that one forward. It's a nice little touch from Seb Palmer-Holden. Here's Aaron Wilding, and then he's going to try and go across to the right hand side for Lewis Payne, although Davis Keeler-Dunn scampers across and nearly gets there. Here is Lewis Payne again, has to go back to Baker, leaves it though for James Clark. This time Clark playing it through. He's going to get it back though to the edge of his own 18-yard box, I think, over on that left-hand side.
Yeah, it is.
And it's back with James Clark, 34-year-old in his third season, the former Walsall and Bristol Rovers man. I'm sure he's worked with Graham Coughlin before.
That's a good play.
The ball is back with Matthew Baker, 21 years old, on loan from Stoke. Plays that one into the gap, and it's in towards Will Evans. Has it hit against him, but his back heel finds Lewis Brunt. That's lovely from Lewis Brunt to get away from Lewis Payne. Here's Brunt again. Can't get rid of it there. And I think he didn't actually want that back from I think it's Hiram Boateng, and again it's one of them where he sort of dropped the shoulder to get out of the cul-de-sac and to get Mansfield moving in the right direction. Then he got the ball straight back at him, and he was like, what am I going to do with that?
Yeah, he really didn't want that ball back there. Or if he did, he wanted it back so he could play it in first time and just clear his lines there. Yeah, just boot it clear. The pressure.
Either way, the ball comes off Davis Keeler-Dunn. Just the one additional minute is going to be added on at the end of the first half. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised there's even that, because
I know it's just been
very, if any stoppages really.
Yeah, it's been an intriguing battle really. I think Newport have just had quite a sustained amount of pressure. Well, possession anyway. Oh, there you go. Hit the referee.
Yeah, the ball outside of the boot ball from Bryn Morris catches the heels of the referee, sends it completely off course, and it'll be a free kick to Newport County.
Yeah, I just thought they kept it really well there. They didn't really go anywhere, but they split the two centre-half split, and they were managing to get the central midfielder, and he was dictating play, and that was the first time we've seen it this half. It's been quite a lot on the counter-attack, but they're a good team. I think they over the next few weeks they will accumulate quite a few points and move up the table. I think they could be, well, from what I've seen in this league, they do look like a playoff.
Oh, the ball headed away, and as far as Tom Nichols, who's done well here to keep hold of it down the left-hand side, he pulls it back into the area for George Maris. Maris rolls it across, corner kick to Mansfield Town. It will be, and the referee, we're not going to give
you can't stop it there.
Can't stop the game there, referee, for half-time.
Stag's just had a corner.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was great play to get the corner, and we're not even going to see it, so that is unfortunate, but plenty of positives to go into the break for Mansfield Town. Despite not scoring goals, they played some very good, attractive football. Davis Keeler-Dunn played 1v1, had that saved by Nick Townsend, and then Boateng quickly into Clark, turned on the edge of the penalty spot and fired it low towards the bottom corner, but denied again by Nick Townsend. Meanwhile, Christy Pym has been pretty untroubled.
He hasn't
in fact, he's not had to do anything.
No, he hasn't
had to do anything all first half.
No.
So which is pretty much the story of the game. But your thoughts on it, Gareth Jellyman?
It's been an intriguing battle. It really has. I've really enjoyed it. It's physical. It looks like it's going to boil over at some points, but I think that the football being played for both teams is being really good. I think, as I said, I think the pitch helps. I think they've spent over £1 million on the pitch with the Dragons playing here with their rugby, and it definitely holds itself to playing good football, and both teams are looking to do that. As we said, Newport looked to counter quickly, but Stags are playing some beautiful football through the thirds. Ollie Clark, Nichols and Keeler-Dunn really look sharp with their decisive one-touch play and finding each other in and around the edge of the box, and just for that last little quality of the ball there, they could have fashioned real good chances, but that last ball seems to be evading them at the minute. But yeah, as I say, it leads itself to a really intriguing battle second half.
Boost for the referee from the vast majority of the Newport fans here at Rodney Parade. I don't think the referee's had a bad game.
No, not at all. But as I said, I think maybe because of Cargill, and I think he was doing it just to wind them up a little bit. He was taking throw-ins from the wrong place, and so they're getting angry. And the more they're getting angry, he's doing it even more. I'm trying to nick a yard and that. I think he's just doing it on purpose a little bit. But then it is getting their backs up, and then they're getting onto the referee quite a bit. As I say, they're a very passionate crowd, and I say that can spill over onto the pitch sometimes. So hopefully Stag fans, the Stag players, can just keep a little bit calm and keep level-headed on the pitch. Yeah, a little bit of a certain type of housery, shall we say, from Bailey Cargill. So that's all she wrote then for the first half. An entertaining first half of football between Newport and Mansfield Town. A game of very few chances so far, but Davis Keeler-Dunn played through 1v1, took the shot early, but it was very well saved from Nick Townsend, diving low to his left, and then Ollie Clark inside the area, tried to turn and find the bottom corner, wasn't able to do so, and so we are level at the break. Half time at Rodney Parade. It is Newport 0, Mansfield Town 0.
This is match day on BBC Radio Nottingham. David Jackson here at the City Ground. So no goals so far in our feature games on BBC Radio Nottingham. I'll run you through these scores elsewhere very shortly. Not too many around in the Premier League at the moment. A couple at Fulham who lead 2-0, a couple for Newcastle as well. I'll run you through all the scores up and down the country shortly. We'll look ahead to the 5:30 kickoff in the Premier League as well. It's 10-4.
Oh, look at this! Goodness me.
On BBC iPlayer, you'll find what you love.
See if anyone saw anything of note.
And love what you find.
Go ahead, look at this.
Discover gripping thrillers.
I don't know where you think you're going with this, but you need to be careful.
Or comedy box sets.
There's so many to choose from, isn't there?
Live stream BBC TV.
Ready!
And binge watch brilliant shows.
It's time to play detective.
The best way to watch TV.
I liked it. I said it was very good.
BBC iPlayer.
Matchday.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
So, goalless here at the City Ground between Forest and Liverpool. Pretty scrappy opening 45 minutes, mostly played in the middle third, really. Other scores for you then. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. Nicholas Jackson with the goal for Chelsea in the West London derby. Everton against West Ham, deep into stoppage time there. It is 0-0 up at Goodison Park. Little bit of good news there in those first two games for Forest, with Brentford losing and Everton not winning at the moment at home. Fulham, as I mentioned, 2-0 up at half-time. That is over Brighton. Harry Wilson with the first and Rodrigo Muniz with the second. At St James's Park, Newcastle are 2-0 up over Wolves. Alexander Isak with the first inside the opening quarter of an hour, and Anthony Gordon adding the second. No goals in North London between Spurs and Crystal Palace. In the Championship, at the top of the table, well, they all seem to be tripping up today. Leeds had won 9 in a row in the Championship before today. West Yorkshire derby for them away at Huddersfield in the lunchtime kick-off. That finished 1-1. Also earlier, Cardiff 1-0 winners away at Bristol City. Southampton are losing as well, 2-1 away at Birmingham, and Leicester are losing at home. Ilias Chair, who has that possible prison sentence on the way, has scored for QPR away at Leicester. Leicester 0, QPR 1. Millwall beating Watford by 1-0, and then no goals in the games between Norwich and Sunderland, Plymouth and Ipswich, who were up there of course as well, Preston and Hull, and Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday in the South Yorkshire derby. All of those are 0-0. Stoke City are 1-0 up over Middlesbrough, and Luke Williams as Swansea manager, yet to win back-to-back games as Swansea boss, but could be today. They won last week, and they are 2-0 up over Blackburn at half-time in South Wales. In League One, Bolton are winning. They are beating Cambridge at home by 1-0. Carlisle are losing. They had a brief respite from a run of defeats, but they're losing again at home, 2-0 to Reading. Cheltenham Burton is 0-0. Derby are beating Port Vale at half-time by 2-0. It's Fleetwood 2, Wigan 2. Leyton Orient 0, Bristol Rovers 1. Lincoln Stevenage is goalless. Northampton are 1-0 down at home to Charlton Athletic. Peterborough Exeter is 1-1. Portsmouth 1, Oxford 1. Shrewsbury 0, Blackpool 1. And Wycombe Barnsley is 1-1. As you know, Notts County's match at Bradford in League 2 was called off earlier, just before 2 o'clock, because of a waterlogged pitch. They had a downpour, but as I mentioned, they did play at Huddersfield Leeds, so it's not like the weather would necessarily have caused a game to be called off, but their pitch is in such a state at the moment, barely a blade of grass on it, that it's not a massive surprise that game has been called off. So Bradford Notts called off before 2 o'clock. Also off because of a waterlogged pitch. 2 matches at the other end of the country. Colchester against Stockport called off earlier, as was Crawley against Barrow. Fingers crossed for Barrow, they didn't travel too far before that game was called off. AFC Wimbledon have beaten MK Dons by 1-0, which will get a little cheer from the football purists. Wimbledon winners over the other Dons. Crewe are winning. They are one of the sides who can catch Mansfield at the top. They're beating Morecambe by 1-0. Grimsby are 1-0 up over Steve Cottrell's Forest Green Rovers. Now, they've had a couple of wins of late, Forest Green, if they fight against relegation, but losing 1-0 at Blundell Park. Grimsby 1, Forest Green 0. Newport Mansfield, as you know, is goalless. Salford 0, Gillingham 1. Gillingham, one of those hoping for a playoff place. Swindon Harrogate is 0-0. Tranmere Sutton is 0-0. Walsall 1-0 up over Doncaster. And Wrexham, a pretty emphatic first half from them against Accrington Stanley. Wrexham leading 4-0. That includes a hat-trick for Paul Mullin. The first of those on 17 minutes. Then the second on 25, the third on 35. So a hat-trick inside 18 minutes for Paul Mullin. Wrexham 4, Accrington 0. A little bit later, at 5:30, Luton take on Aston Villa. Now, Luton, of course, just inside the relegation places at the moment. Even a win tonight won't be enough to lift them out of the relegation places. 4 points separating them from Forest. Their manager, Rob Edwards, asked if he pays attention to the results of other clubs.
It does matter, of course, what other teams do, but it doesn't matter if we don't look after ourselves and get enough points. So we have to just concentrate on our job. Obviously, we're kicking off at a different time, but we just have to concentrate on ourselves. And I know that's the right answer, it's the boring answer, but it's the only answer that there is. If we don't get enough points, if we don't get enough points to put ourselves back in that mix, it doesn't matter, and all the other noise that's going on elsewhere at other clubs and other hearings that have or have not got to take place, doesn't matter. So all our focus is on Aston Villa right now, and that's all it can be on. Whatever happens elsewhere happens. We want to give ourselves the best opportunity going into those final games, because it's going to turn around quick now. We're into March, so we want to give ourselves the best opportunity going into the final month of the season. And currently we're in the mix. All right, we're a little bit off, but not far, not cut adrift. It's important that it stays that way.
Luton Aston Villa kicking off at 5:30. That's the Luton boss Rob Edwards. Now a word in your ear about the Forest podcast, which is out. We put out on BBC Sounds yesterday. Shut Up and Show More Football, the weekly podcast from BBC Radio Nottingham, with myself and Colin Fray. This week featuring our exclusive interview with the Forest chairman Tom Cartledge, recorded by BBC Radio Nottingham's political reporter Hugh Caswell, talking about the future of Forest here at the City Ground, as talks had stalled between the club and the City Council over the terms, the cost of the lease, and also the length of the lease. You can hear the explanation of all of that and the likelihood that what might happen, according to Tom Cartledge anyway, is that if they can't find a solution, Forest may choose to find a new home.
Whatever comes our way between now and the last 12 games of the season, I think we will be a Premier League team next season.
There are some crucial meetings coming up about it. Some may look at the financial situation the club is in, or the players that have been signed. You know what the rules are. This was always something that was likely to be a prospect.
We've got good advisors helping us. We're confident of our position, but that will come and go. We're talking about 125 years here, and our next 125 years, and where we see ourselves in terms of the stadium of the future.
That's Tom Cartledge discussing the PSR hearing, which is coming up, of course, next week. Forest due to find out in the next fortnight the extent of the punishment and the possible, or surely will be, points deduction, given what happened with Everton deciding that a points deduction the only way forward for breaching the PSR rules. So points deduction on the way. We should find out in a fortnight, that hearing next week. So you can hear the Forest chairman Tom Cartledge discussing that, and in more detail the future of Forest's life here at the City Ground, or whether indeed it will be elsewhere. The City Council, by the way, saying they still remain committed to further negotiations, but also saying that the agreement must work for the local authority and the club. It's match day on BBC Radio Nottingham. Second halves on the way from here at the City Ground, and also from Newport Stags. No goals in either of our featured games. It's 3:50.
This week,
Six Music Festival is back in Greater Manchester,
with an incredible lineup of artists and DJs beyond the mainstream.
and we've got archive sets and music mixes to get you in the mood, like Rave Forever,
the morning after mix,
and Indie Forever. Search Six Music Festival. Watch on iPlayer, listen on BBC Sounds.
Match day.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Here at the City Ground, the Forest players just jogging out to the edge of the pitch, ready for the second half. So time to make your choice on match day. If you want to hear the second half of Newport Stags, you can hear that on 95.5 FM with Jake Garner and Gareth Jellyman. For the second half from here at the City Ground, where it's Forest 0, Liverpool 0, you can hear that on 103.8 FM and digital radio with Steve Sutton and Colin Fray.
Match day.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Perfect timing as always, because here comes the two sets of players at Rodney Parade. Mansfield Town doing their usual, they sort of sprint out the tunnel, which is really encouraging to see, going into a second half, and Newport the same. Both sides up for carrying on what was an interesting first half battle, neither side blinking, probably Mansfield Town just edging it in terms of possession and good quality, in terms of chances also, one for Clark and one for Davis Keeler-Dunn, but neither goal has been has seen the ball flying to the back of it so far, and so we've got 45 minutes to separate these two sides. For now, very sunlit at Rodney Parade for this early March afternoon. On the way up here we drove through various types of weather, but it's encouraging to see that what are we now, nearly 4 o'clock, just gone 4 o'clock, the sun's out and it's got a sort of a spring feel to it, which is lovely. So Newport versus Mansfield, second half on the way from BBC Radio Nottingham. No changes for either side at half time. I'd imagine both managers are pretty happy with what they've seen so far. Just need to see a goal ideally, as we are back underway here at Rodney Parade. Switched across by Matthew Baker down the right hand side for Will Evans, headed away by Bailey Cargill. It might fall in towards Will Evans, edge of the penalty area. Ollie Clark steps in and it's going to be struck goalwards and blocked by Adam Flint's. Managed to get a toe on it in the end. It sort of fell to the feet of I think it might have been Will Evans. He sent that one into the penalty area. It's a good touch from Christy Pym, who wasn't entirely sure who was behind him, and immediately Christy Pym has been called into probably more action in the opening 29 seconds than he has done in the entire first 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was a hopeful ball there from the left, but it was dipping, and I'm pretty certain Christy Pym wasn't quite sure where he was in relation with the back stick, so he's been decisive again and just got his hand on it and flicked it out for a corner. But we need to make sure we defend this well.
Absolutely sure. As the corner comes in from the right hand side, it slants away towards the back post. Will Evans will strike it, loops up in the air, hit the heels of Cargill, knocked up in the air again by Evans, who can't get past Cargill at the minute as Reid sends that one downfield. Davis Keeler-Dunn trying to get there first, but it's well dealt with by Lewis Payne. Back to the goalkeeper it goes in, Nick Townsend. So for Mansfield Town, Christy Pym in goal, back four of Williams, Brunt, Flint and Cargill. As Mansfield nearly Tom Nichols trying to get in there. It was Tom Nichols. Midfield diamond, Lewis Reid at the base of it with George Maris in the number 10, Tom Nichols and Davis Keeler-Dunn both offside as the ball breaks nicely for Nick Townsend just to gather, wearing all green. George Maris in the 10, Hiram Bertain, Lewis Reid and Ollie Clark in the middle of midfield with Tom Nichols and Davis Keeler-Dunn up top. Meanwhile for Newport, Nick Townsend in goal, back four of Clark, Jameson and Baker, Lewis Payne and Adam Lewis either side with Bryn Morrison, Scott Bennett and Aaron Wildig in the middle of midfield, and up top scorer Will Evans and Seb Palmer Holden on them from Bristol City, as it might fall for the Bristol City loanee actually, but it's really good defensive work from George Williams. I'm sure Graham Coughlin has given his side not a rocket as such, but we'll call it a firework, should we say? A bit of oomph. Yeah,
they have. They're being a little bit more direct there, and then obviously on the back of that, getting the midfield pushed up and then getting on top of the second balls, which they've done it on a couple of occasions there. So obviously something that they've recognised. They just need to be a little bit more direct, but also have willing runners from the midfield.
Well, on the bench for Mansfield Town, they've got a lot of quality. Stephen McLaughlin, Jordan Bowery, Lucas Akins, Aaron Lewis, Stephen Quinn also, as the ball hooks off George Williams, who did extremely well there to whack the ball against Adam Lewis. He didn't expect that, as the ball is headed on by Nichols and towards Ollie Clark, who saw Davis Keeler-Dunn was offside, only just over as it's played down the line. Williams fires up into the area, Bertain's header, he's missed it. What a chance, huge chance for Mansfield Town. Great ball from George Williams, and Hiram Bertain in acres of space in the 18-yard box, diving header that looked top corner bound, and he couldn't find it. No, it was probably about level with the front post, probably just level with there, probably about 6-7 yards out. Free header, really, threw himself at it, diving header, just didn't control it, but it was a fantastic ball by George Williams, just over the first man. It was beautiful ball, and it was a great timed run, which Boateng has shown over the last few weeks, but he's more than capable of doing, and I'm sure he would have backed himself to put that in. It was a great chance, but unfortunately he didn't take it. Same end he scored in last April as well. Did Hiram Bertain? You put your money on him scoring from there, and again it was one of those really good balls into the penalty area, just with a little bit of whip, like you say, Gareth, over the first man. It really was begging to be headed either side of Nick Townsend, and that would have been 1-0, but in the end the chance comes to nothing as Lewis Brunt heads the ball away, but they are creating some good chances on Mansfield Town, as Hiram Bertain has it again down the left hand side, scoops it down for George Maris and wasn't able to keep it in play, but Stags will have a throw. 4.5 gone. 0-0 at Rodney Parade, 0-0 as well at the City Ground between Forest and Liverpool. That will keep you across everything else going on in League 2 also, as Bertain shakes off his man, and although actually he loses out, and now off go Newport again as the ball forward finds Seb Palmer Holden, and it's good tackle. One more needed for Will Evans, and now it's a crossfield ball for Davis Keeler-Dunn if he can keep it in play. Oh, he did. Only just down the right-hand side. 1 or 2 options for him in the penalty area. Here is Davis Keeler-Dunn. Right to challenge. And another. Goes to ground, does he? Davis Keeler-Dunn helps it on towards George Maris. Here's Hiram Boateng, who was knocked off balance there with Davis Keeler-Dunn. Maybe should have stayed on his feet and he might have got a penalty. Lovely dink from Bailey Cargill. Gets to the byline. Yes! 1-0 to Mansfield Town. Early stages of the second half. Cargill sends it in towards the near post and Maris just steers it into that near post beyond Nick Townsend. 5 gone in the second half and Mansfield Town lead at Rodney Parade after so much pressure in the opening 5 minutes of the game. George Maris with his 9th goal of the season. It's Newport County 0, Mansfield Town 1.
Yeah, and it all came from a fantastic switch ball in his own half by Bailey Cargill. He recognised that Keeler-Dunn had peeled over to the right-hand side, and he played a fantastic diagonal ball. But Keeler-Dunn had so much to do. He picked it up probably on the where the rugby markings were, the 22, and he's picked it up right on the touchline, and he's jinked his way into the 18-yard box. It made it really central. He's got beat about 2 or 3 players, managed to get the ball out wide. Cargill's done so well recycling the ball, getting to the byline, pulling it back, and a great finish by George Maris. Just a near stick. Just
had to steer it into the near post, didn't he? Really good finish.
Really inviting, but I suppose you've got to be in that position, and he did ever so well, just with his left foot, just play it into that near stick, just beating the keeper. But great start to the second half for Stags.
Well, Newport have conceded 1 goal prior to today. 13 of their 17 home games, make that 14 in 18 now. But however, they have scored in 16 of those 17. So again, it's not over yet. But Mansfield Town with plenty of chances. I'd say 3 or 4 good ones. I thought actually, I thought the referee was going to pull play back and possibly give a penalty because Keeler-Dunn was knocked off his feet, and now off go Mansfield again with Boateng. Plays it forward to Tom Nichols, who turns and rolls it on for Ollie Clark. Lovely ball round the back for George Maris down the left-hand side. This is great football from Mansfield Town. Maris steers it goalwards. He doesn't quite find the target from there. Really good play for Mansfield Town from one end of the pitch to the other in the blink of an eye. A lovely floated ball from Ollie Clark to find George Maris on the left hand side. He cut in onto his right foot and was looking for the top corner. Unfortunately, it goes over the top and can only find the photographer's foot behind the goal. But again, 2 big chances in the space of a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was a great ball into Nichols, did ever so well. Maris ran off him, and I think he was looking for the first ball, but Nichols manipulated the ball between his feet and just played in Clark, and Clark, obviously Maris had carried on his run and played him in, and he was in, he got in wide, he's cut in, and he's played the ball towards the back stick, and it's slightly, unluckily it was just over the bar, but it was very promising play again. It's fantastic play.
Touch from Matthew Baker, sends that one high into the far stand over on the far side, and now it's the Mansfield Town fans making all the noise here at Rodney Parade, where they've won. They've certainly won last April. They've got some good results here, but Newport certainly made them have a bit of a battle here. So far, Stags are winning that battle by a 1-0 and extending their lead at the top of the League 2 table. No game for Stockport this afternoon away at Colchester, although the ball hits the feet of Adam Lewis. Mansfield Town will have a chance from this thrown down the line towards Ollie Clark. It's smashed away from him though in the end by Kyle Jameson. He goes out of play for a Stags throw deep inside Newport County territory.
Yeah, it's good to see as well. They haven't taken a step back, Stags, and that's what they've done all season. They've just carried on, and they've carried on putting that pressure on. They've got the ball here within the final third. George Williams has got it on the right, looking for someone to throw it to. We got Ollie Clark's got it.
He throws it down the line to Ollie Clark, and the return ball to Williams doesn't quite find his man, although Williams has done well here to win it back. Hits it against his man, and it goes out of play for another Mansfield Town throw. George Williams is just telling 1 or 2 players just to stay back. I don't think he's got enough energy to send a long one in.
Yeah, you see that quite often, because when everyone comes on top of you, comes really close, when you throw it to them and get the ball back, they're right on top of you straight away. So you'd rather them stay further away. So if they roll it back to you, you've got more time to get the ball in and that. So yeah, he's right with what he's saying, trying to stay away, but it's difficult to do because you're trying to find a bit of space to be able to receive the ball initially anyway.
Aidan Flip with the header away. It's flicked on by Scott Bennett up towards halfway. Seb Palmer Holden getting there first. A shout for handball against Williams, doesn't get it, but this time Keeler-Dunn tries to nick it away against his former teammate in Jameson. This time Reid trying to flick it on. This time Williams also trying to get something on it. Bit of head tennis going on in the air to the on the edge of the halfway line, but it comes off Aidan Flint's head last, off those wonderful locks, and out of play for a Newport throw. Adam Lewis has got a bit of a cannon on it, actually, to be fair. Long throw down the left-hand side. Certainly Newport will fancy themselves to utilise that, as this time Bailey Cargill flicks it on to Hiram Boateng with a nice touch, but he just gets it too far in front of him. 10 gone in the second half. Stags leading by 1-0. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham as Lewis Brunt finds another Lewis with another cool ball. It's played downfield. It's in front of Tom Nichols though, and Davis Keeler-Dunn. What is so impressive about Mansfield Town, I don't know if you agree with me on this, Gareth, but they just look so comfortable. They do. Whenever the ball comes anywhere near them, they just go, okay, Aidan, head that one away. Although I might have just cursed them now because, saying that, Mansfield Town won it back. So there we go. Exactly my point.
They never look under any pressure, do they? Where other teams, they do look a little bit jittery, but they don't. I think they're really comfortable. They've got a lot of very technical players as well. Even like the defenders, like you got Brunt, even Aidan Flint, he's really good on the ball. And they can manipulate, but it was like the ball come through up there to Brunt. Usually you'd see like just a big hoof. But he didn't. He just cushioned the ball down to Lewis Reed. He played it out wide, and they build an attack from there. They're really, really a good footballing team technically.
Ball booted up in the air by Kyle Jamieson. It's headed down by towards Nichols. Lovely flick round the back to Davis Keeler-Dunn. Very cool from Nichols. Again, Lewis Reed has the ball inside the centre circle. Forward to Davis Keeler-Dunn. Shove in the back. Free kick to Stags. Want to take it quickly though, does Davis Keeler-Dunn, but Kyle Jamieson's like, oh no you don't. No. I'll watch the game against Gillingham. You're not doing that. It
was a great little nick around the corner there, Nichols. They're linking up ever so well, them two, Keeler-Dunn and Nichols. I really like watching that pairing, I do.
Yeah, a flick from the nick.
Yeah, a flick from the nick. There you go.
Lewis Reed, by the way, he's signed a new deal to keep him at the club until 2025. But I think it goes on to the point about how Mansfield Town, whenever the ball comes anywhere near them, Aidan Flint or Lewis Brunt or whoever's in that back four can just touch it down to him, and then he can take control and get Mansfield on their way. He's the perfect linchpin really, as Maris swings the ball into the area towards the back post. Cargill's header into the gloves of Nick Townsend, sort of caught it in his stomach and looked to get Newport away on the counter-attack, but Mansfield Town get back very, very quickly. And
the reaction, you see how quickly it was brilliant.
What's that, 4 or 5 seconds, and all of a sudden they're back.
The turnover. And that's something that you work on quite a lot. Like as soon as transition of play, getting yourself back in positions, running in straight lines back towards the goal, and they did it ever so well there. Even though they didn't really need to, but it's great to see that hunger and desire to get back and get yourself in a good position to build from.
It's 1 or 2 desperate clearances from Newport County. Lewis Reed sends that one forward, although it's straight to the feet of Brynner Morris. Here's Adam Lewis down the left-hand side for Aaron Wildig as Ollie Clark slides in and wins it back. Feels like the perfect game for Ollie Clark. A proper battle in the south of Wales.
He's enjoying it, you can see. Big smile on his face.
Great to see him back. And again, George Maris, who was rested against Salford City, came on in the second half and had a part to play in the 5th goal, but you can bring on quality players like that. Exactly. There's only one way Stags are going at the moment, and that seems to be up for now, as here is Hiram Boateng, plays it back to Bailey Cargill. High lofted ball forward for either Tom Nichols or Davis Keeler-Dunn to get hold of, but both of them sort of standing there saying, what on earth was that? Bailey. Meanwhile, a couple of goals going in elsewhere in League 2. Harrogate leading away at Swindon. And it's also Gillingham 2, Salford 0 at the Peninsula Stadium. So Salford City not having the best of time under Carl Robinson at the moment, although prior to their 5-1 defeat at Stags they were unbeaten in 8. So it seems to have knocked the stuffing out of them a little bit.
Wheels have come off.
Crewe meanwhile have doubled their lead over Morecambe. Shiloh Tracy making it Crewe 2, Morecambe 0. So very important today that Mansfield Town come away with 3 points, or at least a point, to make sure that they stay top of the league going into the final 12 games. Ball headed over the halfway line, down the line it goes. Hiram Boateng trying to retrieve it, but unable to do so. Good one-touch football from Newport, and they find Bryn Morris inside the centre circle, who's got Adam Lewis to his left. Floated ball for Adam Lewis, takes the touch, but he stops the ball dead. This time it's back across to Scott Bennett, and this time he's sending one all the way across to the right-hand side for the energetic Lewis Payne. He runs into Bailey Cargill, the ball comes off Cargill, and that a play for a Newport throw. And we're going to see a triple change, I think. Double.
Well, a double for double and a triple, I think.
Possibly. We'll see. Newport are going to go first, and they're going to
the double.
Going to bring on. So let's see who will be coming on. So Carl Jamieson is coming off.
Zanzala.
And Frande Zanzala is going to be coming on. So I'd imagine it means that Newport might go to a back four. Adam Lewis and Lewis Payne coming back. They're also going to bring on Harry Charsley, the former Stags man. Is going to be coming on. Although there's a bit of talk with the officials on this near side, because Carl Jameson, I don't think, wants to come off, it seems. But that's the number that's come up. Meanwhile, it's 3 changes going to be made by Nigel Clough as we approach the hour. In no way diminishing the quality in the squad, that is for sure. I'm still waiting for these changes. So Charsley and Zanzala are getting ready to come on. So it's going to be Stags who are going to be making their changes first. Stephen Quinn is going to be coming on for Hiram Boateng. Good half. Good hour, I should say, from Hiram Boateng. Certainly played his part.
Unfortunately not to score, really.
Yeah, certainly could have done that diving header. It's going to be Lucas Akins coming on for Tom Nichols. And then the third change, I'd imagine, we'll see George Williams maybe coming off for Jordan Bowery, but I'm not entirely sure.
I think
in fact, no, it's Ollie Clark who's making way, so I'd imagine that's purely because there's a game on Tuesday night at Mansfield Town, want to utilise their squad. 3 changes made by Nigel Clough on the hour. So Barry, Akins and Quinn on. Off go Clark, Boateng and Nichols. Meanwhile, that double change is on his way from Graham Coughlin. And Carl Jameson, who I thought was coming off for Afrande Zanzala, is still on the pitch for the time being. There's also a stoppage because there's a player injured, I think. I'm not entirely sure who it is, because he's right in front of the official over on that far side. But we'll find out who that is very, very shortly. But Harry Charsley, the former Stag, is getting stripped and ready. I
think it's James
to the field
Clark,
of play. Yeah, maybe Clark could be the one to make way, perhaps. And so it will be Carl Jameson who is coming off. For Afrande Zanzala. We're also going to see Declan Drysdale coming on also. So triple changes all round, it seems.
Yeah. Interesting to see Jordan Bowery up front. I haven't seen him play up there for a very long time.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Seb Palmer Holden coming off also for Harry Charsley.
And Jamie Clark. It was James Clark, sorry.
Also, James Clark is coming off, and Declan Drysdale will be coming on also to a double change at the back being made by Graham Coughlin. A little change up front as well, and they're bringing their man who scored twice against Harrogate on Tuesday night. So Declan Drysdale on alongside Harry Charsley and Afrande Zanzala. So not 3 bad players to bring on, that is for sure.
Definitely not.
But again, you do wonder whether it's sort of like matched. I mean, it might be a daft thing to say, but because Graham Coughlin's made a triple change, I think Nigel's probably gone or vice versa.
How can I neutralise that?
Exactly. So lots of energy on the pitch now with half an hour to go. But Stag leading it by 3-0 as a ball comes into the penalty area. Zanzala trying to get there first. Aidan Flint with the ball forward for Lucas Akins, who lets that one go, and it's going to be a throw to Mansfield Town. So in terms of the formation, it's a bit of a tricky one, because I think it looks like Bowery has gone up top alongside Lucas Akins, and Keeler Dunn has reverted to the 10. Yeah. George Maris has gone further back into the middle of midfield, and the back four stays as it was. Stephen Quinn on the left hand side, of course, in his usual spot. Here is Bailey Cargill, takes a touch and dinks that one down the line for Jordan Bowery. Bowery's still got it down that left hand side, and George Maris wants it, but Bowery goes down the left again for Stephen Quinn. Good ball down the line for Bailey Cargill, pulls it across in towards Barry. Here's Lucas Akins, who turns and fires it goalwards. Just took a touch and tried to get away from his man. Wasn't able to find either corner, wasn't able to get a shot away properly, but really good play again from Mansfield as Akins turns on a sixpence and looks to go one way and then the other. Still got it as Lucas Akins is back with Lewis Reed. Mansfield Town playing some good football as it's rolled through again to Lucas Akins, takes a touch. It just has it nicked away from him at the very, very last second by Matthew Baker.
It's a great ball that by Cargill. Fantastic. It was a great run by Aitken, who's unfortunately he was not able to take it in his strength.
Looks hungry for it. Akins has got it again in the area. Shot coming in from the left-hand channel. He's had 3 or 4 shots already. He's only been on a minute,
and it's in the same space. He keeps receiving it in that same space. He's making that good run between the two centre halves. Right side.
It's an interesting call.
That is, isn't it?
That is an interesting call from the referee, because Bailey Cargill went down holding his face, and the referee sort of kept looking to see if he was okay, and then as soon as Newport got the ball and were ready to launch a counter-attack, of which they had quite a lot of bodies forward, the referee said, oh, hang on, it's a head injury. So from a Starks perspective, it's, oh, thank goodness, but from a Newport perspective, well, I better not say it on live radio.
You can hear the Newport fans' thoughts on that.
Yeah, that is...
their discourse.
You kind of understand a little bit now why they booed him going off at half time. But I mean, by the letter of the law, if it's a head injury, they've got to stop the game. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter how, it's got to be done. And thankfully Bailey Cargill is okay. It's the ball booted down clear by Nick Townsend. This time headed away by Lewis Brunt. Up in the air it goes. Jordan Barry trying to win it, as is Davis Keeler Dunn. It's hooked forward by Scott Bennett. One for Lewis Brunt to he was either going to head it back to Christy Pym or the other way, decided neither, and hooks it forward for Jordan Barry. Keeler Dunn with the header over halfway. Bennett gets in between. It's the sun still beaming down here at Rodney Parade. It makes it very difficult for some of the players to see. Lovely touch off Andy Zanzala, and off goes Harry Charlesley. Here is Bryn Morris in towards Charlesley, pulls it back on the edge of the area, and in the end it's a comfortable touch from Reid to send that one forward to Lucas Akins, who takes the touch, brings it over halfway and feeds it on to Stephen Quinn. He just sent someone into the floor with Stephen Quinn. He did about 3 cartwheels there. He's 37. But again, it was a great play from Lucas Akins, and tried to send it all the way across.
Yeah, probably a little bit too much on that ball. Asked a little bit too much of Quinn.
Mansfield win it back. Keeler Dunn 1v1 with the last man. Keeler Dunn taps into the area, still got it. Keeler Dunn strikes it goal. It's always gone wide of the mark, but it took a nick on its way through, and Mansfield Town get a corner. I thought he completely missed his kick there, and thankfully for Davis Keeler Dunn, it got a nick from the defender. Mansfield Town will have to settle for a corner, but he did so well just to drop the shoulder, get off the last man, and then managed to try and side foot it in to get another goal against Newport. Wasn't able to do so. They'll have to settle for a corner. Yeah,
he literally nutmegged somebody there without even touching the ball, just with his body movement. The defender went with the body movement, let his legs open, he went through his legs, and then he found himself in a great position on the 18-yard box, but weren't able to get hold of the shot properly.
Quinn's corner from the right-hand side in towards the near post. It was punched away before it fell to Aidan Flint as Maris steps in and tries to win the ball back, but Aaron Raldi did well to ride the challenge, and across he goes to the left-hand side for Harry Charlesley, up against his former teammate and Jordan Barry, but Jordan Barry does really well. And he was
I disagree with that.
I mean, for me, that's not a foul.
No, there's no chance.
Too strong for Charlesley.
Too quick. Just stepped across him, and Charlesley's gone over, and he's he was. He
knew what he was doing. Even Jordan Barry's saying, "You knew what you were doing."
Yeah, he was too strong, too quick there.
Cheeky from Charlesley, but it's a free kick to Newport County, who trail here at the One Call Stadium. No, we're not. We're in Wales, miles away. Here at Rodney Parade, Mansfield Town leading by a goal to nil. 22.5 minutes gone. Ball coming into the area towards the back post, and Mansfield Town nearly unable to deal with it. But thankfully, it hit the chest of Aidan Flint and allowed Lewis Reid to clear his lines. And those set pieces, which caused Mansfield so many problems away at Walsall, nearly causing them problems here at Newport. But thankfully, they get away with it as the ball is headed away by Bailey Cargill, out of play for a Newport throw.
Yeah, it looked like he should have been dealt with at the near stick there. I thought Jordan Bowery should have got his head on it, but he didn't, and then it's found its way all the way back to the back stick, and you're in trouble then, because anyone could get in the end there, but unfortunately it hit Aidan Flint in the chest, and we managed to scramble it clear.
A couple of goals in the Premier League. Kurt Zuma has equalised for West Ham against Everton, 1-1 at Goodison Park. Meanwhile, Eberechi Eze has scored for Crystal Palace away at Spurs. Could be a big goal that could also affect Forest as well, who are currently drawing 0-0 at home to Liverpool. Or the featured game on BBC Radio Nottingham. Ball coming in from the left-hand side. Sent into the box towards Lucas Akins, back to goal, looking to turn. It's short for Jordan Barry. And Mansfield Town win it back, get the ball back from Lewis Brunt, as it's going to be sent in down the line by Stephen Quinn. Here's Cargill, ball in towards the back post. It's on towards Davis Keeler Dunn, who took a touch. It might fall for George Maris. Ball across the 6-yard box. It's deflected away. It's time towards the left-hand side for Reid, who turns on the edge of the box. He's dispossessed. Williams goes sliding in and wins it back. And off goes Bailey Cargill if he can get there first. Really good challenge from Bailey Cargill, but Newport come away with it as it's sent forward again. Aidan Flint just does what he does and heads that one back over halfway.
Yeah.
You forget he's there.
You do, don't you?
He's 6'6", and he's an absolute Spartan, but whenever the ball goes that way, you just go, oh, it's fine, Aidan's got it.
He'll head it,
Yeah, but here's Akins down the line for Stephen Quinn, drops the shoulder and rolls it into Keeler Dunn, around the back for Bailey Cargill. This is good football again from Mansfield Town. Cargill towards the byline, still got it as Bailey Cargill just has it hit against his ankles, back towards Stephen Quinn, lovely turn, pokes it in towards Davis Keeler Dunn, who turns on the edge of the box. Keeler Dunn, it's into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Really good intricate play again from Mansfield Town, but they don't want to be ruining these missed chances as off goes Afrande Zanzale. Nigel Clough is bellowing at his players to get further back. He's left George Williams in the dust here as Zanzala. Done well though, does George Williams, and has Lewis Reed. And Mansfield Town come away with it. Here's Davis Keeler Dunn, touch into Reed, ball round the back for Akins down this right hand side. It's 2 versus 2, and off goes Lucas Akins still. Jordan Barry needs to stay back on side. One touch into Davis Keeler Dunn, pulls it across and it's blocked. Corner kick to Mansfield Town. I tell you what, this is great football.
That is fantastic play. The cover in there, George Williams looked like he was going to get is it Zanzala? Zanzala, so quick, but he did ever so well to keep up with him. But then Reed's always there as well. Reed reads the game ever so well, and he got himself across and managed to get a little toe in. But from there, they built up from the right back area into Lewis Aitken, back to Louis Reed round the corner, and it ended up with Keeler Dunn on the break and getting a shot off inside the box. But it was frightening how quick and the intensity of the counter attack there from Mansfield.
Corner kick.
Lovely play.
Corner kick it'll be. Stephen Quinn standing over it. They've made a change, have Mansfield as well. Aaron Lewis, former Newport man, of course, on the field of play with his moustache. And George Maris, the goal scorer, is the man who makes way. I'm thinking maybe that's purely because they've got MK Dons at home on Tuesday. Quinn with the short corner in towards Jordan Barry. Didn't quite get the touch that he wanted, did Barry, but it's back to Stephen Quinn. Aaron Lewis wants it down this right-hand side, fires the ball into the area. It's headed up in the air. It might be falling for a Stags player, but it's headed away by Newport. This time Brunt with the header forward in towards Barry. Controls it well in the box, and it's back with Stephen Quinn. Down the right-hand side, his ball is behind Barry, and it'll be cleared away by Newport. Although Stephen Quinn has got completely pulled back there, and he's pointing to Aidan Flint to apologise. Free kick taken quickly. Stephen Quinn's not back on his feet yet. He is now. Here is Stephen Quinn forward to Barry. One-touch football again from Mansfield Town. It's back with Lewis Reed down the line. Here is Aaron Lewis. Back across he goes to Lewis Reed. Has to go all the way back to Christy Pym, who again has done very... He's not had to do anything. He's literally had to flap at one cross, and that is it in the entire, what are we now, nearly an hour into, in fact well over an hour into the game so far. 27 minutes gone in the second half, 1-0 Stags. This is looking positive for Mansfield Town, although off goes Harry Charsley down the left hand side, and whilst it's still 1-0, it is always a dangerous scoreline, as the old cliche goes.
It is, but they're performing admirably. They're playing ever so well. They are both in offence and in defence. They're defending ever so well. Never really looking in any bother, and it counter-attacking brilliantly.
With Jordan Barry twisting and turning and tussling away with Baker, and it's actually spun away down this left-hand side. It's kept in play only just by Adam Lewis. The ball spins away off Jordan Barry and cleared away by Lewis Reed. Didn't want it there though. Here's Baker on the edge of the 18-yard box, about 35 yards from goal or so. It's played behind him. Meanwhile, Graham Coughlin is trying to make a double change. He's going to bring on James Waite and Luke Jeffcott as well. James Waite has got to wait. Here's Declan Drysdale. Forward it goes to Bryn Morris, trying to get the one touch in with Will Evans, but he plays it out to the right hand side for Lewis Payne, who does well to get past one and past another. Really good feet from Payne. This time it's left for Will Evans, ball to the back post. It's over everybody and out of play for a goal kick, and Stags can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, they can, but again, they don't look, they didn't look in any real trouble. It's a hopeful ball into the back stick, but as you say, you've got Aidan Flint, Brunt, people more than capable to win those first contacts there, and they just shielded the ball out, and it's a goal kick to Stags.
Well, I thought James Waite was going to be coming on, but it's not. He's just going to have to wait even longer. Luke Jeffcott, that is coming on for Aaron Weldig, and meanwhile for Newport, who else is coming on? It will be Harrison Bright. So Harrison Bright is coming on for Lewis Payne, and so more changes made by Graham Coughlin, who again, he's throwing plenty at it, that is for sure.
Yeah, it looks like they're going with 3 up top there, or Will Evans is just dropping into the 10 role and having 2 up front, but it looks slightly more attacking. So they are throwing caution to the wind.
Ball deflects for Jordan Barry. He's just had it nicked off him though at the last moment. Now here is Will Evans trying to control proceedings from the midfield this time as the ball played round the back. George Williams trying to get there first ahead of Afrande Zanzala, and I'm pretty sure that came off Zanzala last.
That's a terrible decision.
That's not a good decision at all by the referee Adam Hurt, and the linesman as well. I mean,
they both agree.
Not too far away with us, but either way, it was given the throw in to Newport, which Adam Lewis will take on loan from Liverpool. Down the line he goes to Scott Bennett, wearing the captain's armband. Davis Keeler-Dunn trying to slide in and win the ball back, and he sends all the ball all the way back to across the right hand side for Harry Bright. His first touch is a good one, rolls it back to his goalkeeper. It's not the best kick downfield, in fact really it doesn't go downfield, goes out of play. 15 to go, 1-0 to Stags.
Yeah, I think Nigel will be really, really pleased with the attitude and application of the Stags players. They're more than up for the battle. They matched them there, but they do have the edging quality, and every time they go forward they move the ball effortlessly through the lines. And here we go, Bailey Cargill's what a save.
Really good save from Nick Townsend, really good play from Bailey Cargill.
Again, he was really progressive. He's picked the ball up midway on the left hand side, and he's just strode all the way into the 18-yard box unopposed really, and then got a great shot across the goalkeeper, which you're always told to do, but the keeper was ever such a strong hand. He's got down to it and palmed it out, and then and they've cleared for a throw in midway in Newport's half again.
The throw coming in from Davis Keeler-Dunn, gets it from Bailey Cargill, does Keeler-Dunn to play it back to Lewis Brunt. Big high boots downfield it goes. It's headed away by Declan Drysdale, and out of play. That'll go for a Mansfield Town throw.
Yeah, good ball. If you've got nothing on Brunt there, just help it into that little channel. Aikins is always a willing runner, and here he goes.
Aikins again keeps it in play.
Yeah, in that channel.
This time it's cleared up towards halfway. It's a lovely little touch on towards Evans, who's got the better here, and he's rode the challenge of Lewis Brunt. Still got it as Will Evans into the right hand channel, pulls it across the face of goal, but it's blocked by Aidan Flint. It might fall for Morris this time. Here is Charsley, pokes it on again to Evans, who's taken the touch, ball into the area, headed away by George Williams. Had to get there because all of a sudden it was 3 versus 3, and meanwhile the trio of I think Ollie Clark and Hiram Boateng, can't see who the other player is, but the ball into the area is blocked by Aaron Lewis. They're coming out to watch the final 15 minutes of the game or so.
Yeah, they are throwing caution, so they're leaving more men up top, and it nearly paid dividend there. But again, Stags defending their box ever so resolutely.
The ball comes in deep from the far right hand side, and it's a good catch and a good claim from Christy Pym. 15 to go. Gareth Jelliman, how do Stags see this one out?
I think just keep doing what they're doing. They're still looking to build the play, and they as I said, they look in control when they're in possession. They look really confident. I think the physical presence of Bowery and Aikins up top, if they can hold it up there a little bit, then they can, the Stags can build from there. But they look confident. They look compact. As long as their reaction's great. As soon as there's a turnover, they're sprinting to get back.
Well, there off goes George Williams and the Afrande Zanzala, and a free kick it will be to Mansfield Town. You can understand why the Newport fans don't like that, because it was a proper tussle between Zanzala and Williams. And again, it's one of those where
I think Zanzala did bring him down there, but I think originally he was pulled ever so slightly, but then he has pulled George Williams back. You can't say he hasn't.
Oh, definitely. It's one of those interesting ones. Long kick coming though from Nick Townsend, flicked down by Lucas Aikins. Goes out of play for a goal kick. Let's have a look at other scores going on in League 2 at this crucial afternoon here on BBC Radio Nottingham. Still 0-0 between Forest and Liverpool. 10 to go there. Meanwhile, it's 2-1 to Crewe over Morecambe. Morecambe getting a goal back.
Oh, wow.
And meanwhile, it's Grimsby 1, Forest Green 0. Gillingham leading Salford by 2-0. Swindon 0, Harrogate 1. Walsall 2-1 up over Doncaster. No goals in the second half for Wrexham so far. They're just leading Accrington by 4 goals to 0. So, quite a game so far at the racecourse ground as well. Off going Newport again. Here is Adam Lewis. Lewis with the ball down the left-hand side for Bryn Morris, and this time it's well dealt with by George Williams, who's been excellent again at right back as the ball spins off Matthew Baker, and Mansfield Town will have a throw, and Jordan Barry's just sort of saying to the players, look, just calm down a little bit and try not to get too involved in the game. Newport need something, they want to get something, and so Stags are happy with how things are going as Aaron Lewis fires that one down the line. Jordan Barry didn't quite want it there, but it might spin away for Aaron Lewis if he can keep hold of it. He manages to hook it back for Keeler Dunn, hooked into the penalty area. Akins does well to trap his man as it's played around the back for Jordan Barry, who stayed onside. Still got it as Jordan Barry. Here's Aaron Lewis, the former Newport man, down the line for Jordan Barry. Nutmegs his man, but that'll be cleared away downfield. I can hear you getting excited. I know you love a nutmeg.
I do.
Here's Will Evans going over halfway. Game really stretched now as it's sent forward. It deflects off Lewis Reed, and it's well tracked back from Stephen Quinn and Lewis Reed to play that one back to Christy Pym. 10 to go, 1-0 to Mansfield Town on the home of live Nottinghamshire Sport on BBC Radio Nottingham. Ball touched on to Davis Keeler-Dunn, who turns one way then the other. He's had another brilliant game.
Yeah, just game management now, I think that's key. It really is. Just keep possession of it. Don't rush it too much. As I say, use your big physical presence up top with Akins and Bowery, and they've done it ever so well. They are.
There is Cargill coming forward from left back. He turns past one and past another, rolls it into the gap for Lucas Akins. Needs to pull it across. It's in towards Bowery. It's just at that near post, and it comes off Bowery last, I think. Referee's pointing for a goal kick. Goal kick given. Big chance.
Yeah, real big chance. Again, Cargill's done ever so well there. Very, very similar to when he got his own shot off. He's steamrolled into the box. And great feet, actually. Great feet to get past the man. He looked like he was going to get brought down, but Akins had made the run and got the ball to the byline and pulled it across to Bowery. He got his foot on it first. It looked like maybe he took a nick off the keeper, but the referees give a goal kick.
Great hold-up play from Lucas Akins again, who rises to the challenge and rolls it all the way back to Bailey Cargill. Maybe didn't want it there, but happy to keep hold of it. Big goal at Gresty Road. Crewe 2, Morecambe 2. Jordan Slew to keep the rhyming slang going as the ball is played into the channel. Into the left-hand side for Mansfield Town. Here's Stephen Quinn's ball into the box towards the back post. It's headed away. It might fall for a Stags player, but it can fall to a former Stags player in Harry Charlesley. This time it's played forward, but Reed plays it on down the line. If Davis Keeler-Dunn can keep it in play, he can't.
He
looks like he's running on empty. Does Davis Keeler-Dunn? Yeah. He's. I think it's sort of one of them where you're sort of thinking, I'm probably not going to get this, so I'll get there.
Gonna have to,
And to be honest,
he's worked really hard, and he's been, integral to the positive things out of Mansfield have done today. He has his touches, his willingness to run and be real progressive with when he's on the ball. He's a really effective game.
Lewis goes to ground, free kick on the 18-yard line, 22-yard line.
Yeah, 22.
I don't know.
22, that one.
Yeah.
On the rugby.
Yeah. Of course, we are at Rodney Parade, home of the Dragons.
Yes.
And of course Newport County. So there's quite a few extra lines on the field of play. You just have to ask the Bradford goalkeeper about that one. That
still has nightmares about that.
I'm sure he does. But either way, free kick to Mansfield, about 22 yards or so, maybe just a little bit more wide right. And they're sending some of the big guns as well. Aidan Flint and Bailey Cargill all in there. Oh, actually, I say that Bailey Cargill stayed back for this one. Thought he'd made a late run into the area, but Brunt is in there. Brunson, Flint, Akins, they're all in there. Ball into the area. It looked like it was going to find Aidan Flint, but it will fall into the penalty area. This time it's booted clear upfield by Will Evans. One for George Williams to battle against his man. It's well played in the end by Aaron Lewis. A lovely hook over the shoulder, but can only find Scott Bennett. Left-hand side, here's Morris. Hits it against Barry. Throw in to Mansfield Town. Your thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, I think Bowery did ever so well there, because it looked like they could break really quickly, and he looked like he'd stepped inside him, but he managed to get the ball and put it out for it looked like it was going to be a Newport throw, but actually it is a Stags throw-in on the halfway line.
And Davis Keeler-Dunn, his afternoon is over. Again, he's ran himself into the ground.
Yeah, He's had a fantastic game. He has had a really effective game. So well done to him. And you could see, you know, he was running on empty that last little bit there, trying to keep the ball in play. His legs look to have gone, but you know, he could be really pleased with his time today.
We certainly can. Throw into Mansfield Town. Not long to go in this game. We've played 39 minutes of the second half, which by my maths means there's about 6 minutes to go. Stags leading by a goal to nil. Still goalless at the City Ground between Forest and Liverpool. Could be a big point if they can keep hold of that one against the league leaders.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned before the chance for Mansfield Town, Jordan Slew has equalised for Morecambe away at Crewe. So 2-2 there. And Crewe were 2 up at that point as well. Here's Aaron Lewis back down the line for George Williams. Hooks that one clear downfield, although that one will go out of play. In fact, it will hit the roof of Rodney Parade and go out of play for a Newport throw. Stags back in action on Tuesday night. MK Dons at home, followed by Swindon at home, as Aaron Lewis plays that one back to Lewis Reed, who fires that one downfield into the channel for Lucas Akins, tussling away with his man. He's done well there as Akins, who nicks it off him. This time it's hooked back to the goalkeeper, who has to just boot that one Aidan Flint style, have it downfield up to halfway. Speaking of, great header forward from Flint, and that's gone all the way through to Nick Townsend.
40-yard header, that one.
Oh, definitely. Really good header again from Aidan Flint, who's just been so solid at the back.
He really is. He's like a wall back there.
He really is. 5 to go. Mansfield Town looking to extend their lead at the top of the League 2 table, which, as we're in March, is some going. Meanwhile, there's been a goal at the Brentford Community Stadium, 2-2 now between Brentford and Chelsea. Interesting game so far going on there. Luton Town versus Aston Villa is on at 5:30 in the Premier League, but Forest at the moment, their main focus is to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. But meanwhile, here come Newport again as the penalty area is Morris, who dinks it into the left-hand channel, and it's booted clear by George Williams.
He's defended his back stick so well on about 3 or 4 different occasions.
And off go Mansfield, looking to kill the game if they can with Stephen Quinn. Aaron Lewis wants it in the penalty area. It's pulled back towards Lucas Akins, who didn't want it there. He was sort of caught on his on his marks.
Come off his big toe, that one.
It has, and it's back across to the left-hand side for Will Evans, and Mansfield Town with a big let-off there, because Will Evans, who's been so good for Newport this season, just a lapse of concentration, hits his own toes. Mansfield will get a throw, and that's the look you need.
That really is, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying there, but obviously it wasn't to put the ball out of play. But, you know, Mansfield very grateful. Williams has got the ball, clears it down to the halfway line.
A long throw. Forward again, this time Akins trying to get there first, but it's headed away by Aidan Flint up to halfway. Barry trying to battle away with Scott Bennett. This time Harry Charlesley plucks it out the air and gives it to Adam Lewis. Ball forward to the head of Bailey Cargill, who heads it over halfway. Mansfield not far away from a huge victory against Newport County, but still a long way to go yet, although we're not had too much by way of stoppages. And the handball goes against Steve McLaughlin. I think after all the appeals that there's been here at Rodney Parade, that's the first handball actually given by the referee, Adam Herchig.
Yeah, I think it probably is. To say, we just need to be professional and just see these last remaining minutes out. Got a free kick on the halfway line. Mansfield lining up just outside their 18-yard box.
Mansfield with defending to do then, as the free kick is going to be coming in from Adam Lewis, left-footed, drills it towards the back post. Akins should win it, and he does, and he heads it up to halfway. Stephen Quinn trying to battle there first, but it's headed up in the air. It's flicked on by Bennett, flicked on again into the penalty area. Christy Pym trying to get there first, and then Lewis Brunt kind of ducked out the way and kind of headed it back to Christy Pym.
I think he meant that, a little backwards header back to
he might
Christy
have done.
Pym.
We'll have to ask him.
Yeah,
we'll have to ask him
about
but,
that one.
yeah, I mean, it's obvious he'll say yeah I did, but either way it worked. 2.5 to go, in fact just under 2 to go here at Rodney Parade. Stags leading by a goal to nil. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham, goalless as well at the City Ground for now. Here's Stephen Quinn back across to McLaughlin. The Irish connection down the line to Lucas Akins, who looks to hold the play up if he can, or maybe go for a second one. Here is Lucas Akins, goes into the gap, pulls it back for Aaron Lewis. Oh dear, sends that one high.
He had so much time there. He didn't really need to take that first time. He could have. It rolled back to him on probably just outside the 18-yard box central, and he's just he was coming onto it on his left foot, and he really body shape technique wasn't there, and he's ended up skying it over. He could have taken that down and probably had 1 or 2 touches.
Would have been the icing on a fabulous cake here in South Wales, but as it is, just over a minute to go. I tell you what, the game has flown by the way. As Aidan Flint has
put it. I think he's cleared the whole stadium, mate. That's why he was practicing in the warm-up. That's what it was for.
Yeah.
Game management, just to see the game out. Indeed. Just clear the ball out the stadium. Beautiful.
I think that one hit Paul Mullin on the head in Wrexham. I think that one. Heads up as the ball falls to Afrandi Zanzala, although it's cleared away by Bailey Cargill, touched out by Adam Lewis. Meanwhile, Morecambe have got a third. It's Crewe 2, wow. Morecambe 3, by the way, at Gresty Road. So Mansfield Town need to hang on, and what could be a really significant result as the ball is played round the back, and that one goes in front of Harry Bright and out of play for a Stags goal kick. And what's also quite encouraging is the fact that we've had very little in terms of stoppages, so hopefully maybe 2 or 3 minutes tops.
If that, I'd say if it was anything like the first half, it was 1 minute, weren't it? And I don't think there's been any more this second half. No, Stags have been really, really, really impressive, both defensively and offensively. In possession of the ball, out of possession, they've been magnificent, and that's, I'd say, everyone's earned their stripes today. I think George Williams, as I say, he's defended ever so well this second half since the introduction of
5 minutes.
Zanzala.
5 minutes of stoppage time for Mansfield Town to try and see this one out. I wasn't expecting that, as the ball is headed on by Lucas Akins. And this time it's flicked away, but that might just give Newport a bit of a boost here to try and get something from this game as the ball is sent forward again for Will Evans. Lewis Brunt heads that one up in the air. It might drop for Evans in the penalty area. Still not cleared. This time Aidan Flint gets a big right boot to it up to halfway. Lucas Akins trying to battle away with Scott Bennett. Bennett does well to keep hold of it, and here comes Matthew Baker down this left-hand side for Adam Lewis, and now Mansfield Town are going to have to see the other side of their game defensively to see this one out. We've played 30 seconds of the 5 minutes of added time. Declan Drysdale heading over the halfway line, plays that one forward to Harry Charsley, the former Stag. Across he goes to Harry Bright. Bright's left-footed ball towards the edge of the penalty area is well dealt with by Jordan Barry, who boots that one downfield, and one for Lucas Akins to hold play up, and Mansfield Town will have runners. One of them is Aaron Lewis, if Lewis can be played through. Instead he's played it through to Stephen Quinn. This could finish the game. Aaron Lewis 1v1 with the goalkeeper, but Nick Townsend comes off his line and gathers it, and Newport still in the game, but that should have been, although as I say, that is booted clear by Nick Townsend and gone out of play for a Stags throw, and they'll take that all day long. But Mansfield should have killed that game off.
Should have. I think Stephen Quinn should have just sat with it for a second and just enticed maybe the keeper across a little bit, because he saw the keeper read what he was going to do. As soon as the ball was played to, it was 2v1, and Quinn, as soon as Quinn's received it, he's tried to play in Aaron Lewis, but the keeper read it and reacted quickest to win the ball. But yeah, that was a very promising move. I think Akins did ever so well again on the halfway line, just holding 2 men off him, and then manipulated the ball out to Stephen Quinn. As I say, I think he should have stuck with it a little bit.
Long throw coming then from George Williams. We've played nearly 2 minutes of the 5 added on. As the long throw comes down the line, it's headed away by Adam Lewis up towards halfway. Reid and McLaughlin run into each other, but McLaughlin gets the header away. This time it's headed up in the air by Lewis Brunt. It will drop in midfield for Aaron Lewis, but Lewis doesn't get there. Afrandi Zanzala with a nice flick away, but it hits the heels of Scott Bennett, and Lewis boots that one downfield, and Lucas Akins is going to tussle away with Baker. It's headed back to the goalkeeper, and Lucas Akins very nearly let in there. He nearly got there ahead of Townsend. It was all very nearly there for a moment, but Nigel Clough telling his players to push out and make sure that Newport don't get in, as Will Evans gets past George Williams and manages to win Newport a corner, their 4th of the afternoon. 2.5 to go of the 5 added on.
Come on, just make sure they switch on here and be alert, and make sure you're winning the first contact, throwing yourself at this.
Sending everyone forward is Graham Coughlin, including Harry Bright. It's only the goalkeeper that's not going forward, and so if Mansfield Town can see this through, if the corner comes in left hand side, headed away by Lewis Brunt, and now Newport going to have to track back quickly with Charsley. It's back to the goalkeeper in the end, and it's going to come straight back into the Stags penalty area through the right boot of Nick Townsend. 2 to go of the 5 added on. Williams with the big header away. Lewis this time heads it up towards the halfway line if Stephen Quinn can get there, but it's just poked away at the very last second across to Harry Bright down the right hand side. Might have to go back to his goalkeeper, maybe not though, as he's played it forward again on towards Jeffcott. Jeffcott down the line trying to get the return ball. Here is Will Evans again. Here is Jeffcott, pulls it back, but this time Mansfield will clear it. Not very far though, it's gone more up than out onto the edge of the penalty area for Declan Drysdale. He floats across into the penalty area. George Williams lands on a Ofrande Zanzala, still not cleared in the penalty area. It's going to be struck. Goal was deflected and it hits one or two Newport players and goes over the top and out of play for a goal kick. Chaos in the penalty area, but Mansfield Town most importantly survive.
Yeah, I don't think that's a penalty. Obviously the fans are going to scream for anything at this time of the game, but George Williams again very committed, and he's got above his man and managed to get ahead on it. But to be fair, then balls can drop anywhere, and I think Mansfield have dealt with anything that's been thrown at them so far, and in the end I think the crowd getting up a little bit, you think, oh, they're under a bit of pressure, Stags, but they don't seem it on the pitch. They seem really, really calm and collected.
Christy Pym with a big kick downfield as it's cleared up towards Jordan Barry, headed away though, hooked up in the air by a Newport man as George Williams again battling away with Ofrande Zanzala, and again it's a really interesting and intriguing battle between them two, and George Williams is winning it for now as Aidan Flint hits it against the heels of a Newport man. 20 seconds to go. Mansfield Town are close to an important victory to extend their lead at the top of the League 2 table with 12 games to go. This could be hugely significant.
Yeah, I think so. I think it really is, especially how Crewe are getting on. So, you know, if they can just see out these last few seconds.
Long throw from Williams, full-time whistle, Stags win on the road again. Big fist pump from Stephen Quinn to Lewis Reed. They know exactly what that means, and the Stags extend their lead at the top of the League 2 table with 12 to go.
Really, really professional performance. It really was. I think the question was before the game, can they handle the pressure of going into a game as leaders, and today they've showed they've just we said that at the start, they've just carried on where they left off. You know, when they were chasing to get to the top spot, they've got there and they just keep going, and they are relentless, and that was a real professional performance. To be fair, maybe the last 30 seconds of the game they looked like they were under a little bit of pressure, but everything thrown at them they dealt with really well. Really cool, calm, and some of their play was outstanding, especially first half, the way they moved the ball around. But they come out second half and they created numerous chances at the start of the half and managed to take one and capitalise on it, but then we're never under any real pressure. Chrissy Pym has come away. I don't think he's really had a save to make. And that was against a a good team. I think Newport will be very close to the playoffs. They look a strong, organised outfit, but as I say, Stags too strong, able to make 4 or 5 changes, and not, to be fair, just carry on where they left off, which is a real testament to the players and the management team as well. But yeah, really impressive. I was impressed with the attitude and how well the application and how they carried out that performance, really.
Well, the cheers from the Stags fans as they celebrate a win here at Rodney Parade are drowned out by the boos from the Newport fans for the referee Adam Herchig. It's one of those afternoons where, you know, if you're beaten in a narrow defeat, normally all eyes look to the referee and think of decisions that haven't gone their way. But truth be told, I mean, even from a Mansfield Town viewpoint, I thought the referee had a really good game. It flowed well. Both sides had chances, and to be honest, I don't think Newport, apart from early stages of the second half, they didn't really offer anything.
No, not in an attacking sense, I don't think. And if you think about the chances that Stags created, there was numerous occasions where they've got to the byline and pulled it back, and Bowery's just missed one. And another there, Stephen Quinn, prime example there. If he would have just held that ball for a little bit more, dragged the keeper across and then played it across to Aaron Lewis, that would have been just a simple tap-in. But he's just played the ball too early and maybe not with the right trajectory. But I say, yeah, we fashioned some great chances and looked really cool and calm in possession. Just really impressed with that. Everyone, like 1 to 11 there, they put in a real good performance from Bailey Cargill at left back, Williams at right back. The two centre halves really solid. Midfield worked fantastically well together, and we said that whoever came on, Bowery and Aikens, held the ball up really well and linked up together, and the same with Keeler Dunn and Nichols in the first half. Some of their play was really intricate and intrinsic, and you know, it's a joy to watch some of the play first half. But I think, yeah, as I say, Nigel's going to be really, really pleased with that. And you say 12 games to go. If they can just keep this going, I think it's going to put a little bit of light between them in second place there if Morecambe have held on, and it'll make the victory even more sweet.
We're looking at the excuse me, the league table for Mansfield Town. Obviously, no Stockport game today, so their game against Colchester was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. So both Mansfield Town and Stockport County have played 34 matches, and they've you look at Mansfield Town at the top of it, and they've just got at the top of the league table. Of course, they were there last week.
Yeah.
They were there at the top of the table last week, of course. And then you look at Stockport County in second on 63 points, still playing, of course, between Wrexham and Crewe. But again, it feels like a hugely significant day because Wrexham and Crewe are both on 35 points. 35 games, but 63 points and 61 points for Wrexham and Crewe. But Stags now have those games in hand, and they're top of the league, and it's just that extra barrier, isn't it, Gareth?
It really is, yeah. And I think, other teams will see that, and it might. I'd see it as being intimidating because Stags do look a real outfit, and they deserve to be where they are because of the way they're performing and the way they're applying themselves. What I see, what really pleases me is every time that there's a transition in play, if they're in the attacking third and there's a transition, that how quickly they recover into positions, and you can see them all working for each other. They're flying back into position, and that's a great base to build on from, because if you you are susceptible to counter attacks, but they dealt with that really well, because we could see Newport from the start. Their game plan was a little bit to play on the counter attack, and they did look quite dangerous. But the way Stags recover, and I love that how well they play, not only with the ball but without the ball, how they're hunting impacts and how they recover really quickly, and they just look a real outfit, and I think they look really strong, and I think other teams will begin to notice that it might be the top of the spot might not be there to play for, because it's going to be Stags, I think. Yeah. I'm going to put it up and put my neck on the line, Jake.
Yep.
I'm saying it. I'm calling it here.
All right, well, you heard it here first then.
I
Gareth
thought that
Jellyman.
was such a good performance. I did.
Yeah, really good stuff. More from Gareth Jellyman a little bit later on in the programme, and so we'll hear from him a little bit later on, and we'll hear from Nigel Clough on a day where the Stags have slayed the Dragons on their own pitch. George Maris's goal just after half-time has made it 1-0 to Stags on the road. They're top of the league, and then some. It's finished Newport County 0, Mansfield Town 1.